Dire team pick.
Alright, well, I'm not sure exactly
Dire team pick.
what Rainbow is doing, but I will start the cast anyways. Ranktious is gone for this cast, so it is going to be a solo cast slash cast with my new awesome co-caster, Rainbow the something, and I'm going to ask him what his official name is once he comes back, if he comes back. This is the RD2L Reddit Dota 2 League at next level, Dota being cast by Nex, and, well, +1, +0, +0/1. Lion is the first pick, surprisingly enough. Versatile first pick. I mean, it's a pretty solid pick. I'd say it's mostly useful when there's some kind of mana drain hero. It's nice if you have a line against a Wraith King or a Medusa, something like that, or maybe a low mana kind of important players that you're playing against, like a Tide Hunter or something that you can stun him up and then mana drain. I don't know. I think that's like one of the main things about him that makes Lion really good.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. He's a solid pick. Skywrath Mage and Bristleback are, I think, way more versatile, solid picks.
Remaining.
Given that Doom, the Brewmaster, Lycan, and Tidehunter are not making it through the draft. Doom is getting banned pretty much every single time, which is really, really awesome. I'd like to see more Doom because, I don't know, I suppose he's not like the funnest hero to watch, but I think he's a good hero, and Doom is always nice to see what like targets they end up dooming. And Ancient Apparition getting picked up by the Radiant, so these are the two supports being completely given away in the first two picks of the Radiant team. And this is sometimes a bad thing because supports have the capability of counter-picking things from the opposing draft. But if you pick them this early, then you can't actually do that. And that is one reason that it's nice to leave one open. Notice how the Dire picked their Skywrath Mage and then picked a Bristleback. So they have one support still at the ready.
10 seconds remaining.
Let's see here. So the bans are now underway, and the second round, Wraith King, Mirana, Shadow Shaman being banned out, understandably. DP still making it through. DP, Viper, and Razor actually haven't been banned or picked yet, which is a little interesting.
Dire team pick.
So the second pick phase is underway. So now I think the Dire team, they need more lockdown. They have really good chase potential, and they have some slows, and they need to be able to pair with Mystic Flare well. I am always a fan of multiple sources of making it so that the Mystic Flare can hit its full duration. Things like Ensnare from Naga, Clockwork with his cogs, and stuns galore from the rest. So we'll see what they pick, but that's something that I would normally draft towards if I was the Dire team. Radiant team, they have a good nuke potential, and they have some supports that kind of want to go greedy, so it's almost like you want to get a couple more picks that will allow Lion and Ancient Apparition to get some farm on in some cases. Maybe hop into the jungle. Some picks that'll allow them to hop in the jungle, and then Lion and Ancient Apparition can soak up some farm in the lane. Viper getting picked up by the Dire. So far, Bristleback and Viper, so they're just, like I was going with, Dire have a lot of slows on their team, and they continue with that. Now they have more slows, but it's mostly a lot of tankability from Bristleback and Viper.
5 seconds
and that's going to be a strong front line. If you're going to if you want to get to Skywrath Mage, you got to go through Viper and Bristleback. And that's, I think, a very important part of drafting is the front line, because sometimes it's so hard to fight against a team with a good front line, because you don't want to go forward. You don't want to get past, you're like, these quills and these poison attacks, and you can't get through them and getting slowed. What am I going to do? And it feels really, really bad. And the counter to a front line is things with reach, things with blinks, Storm Spirit, invis of some kind, or something like that, or some strong initiation like Tide Hunter, Invoker, things with team fight that you can just burst them through. And Invoker's pretty good about doing that. He can Tornado, he can start a fight with an EMP and make it just a good way to start the fight. But Lich, even more slows. This is crazy. Dire's like the slow team. They have every single one of them has a slow, and the Chain Frost from Lich also being a slow. This is pretty interesting. And Faceless Void being picked up by the Radiant team. I like the Invoker Faceless Void and the Ancient Apparition as well. So both of those make it so that Faceless Void can get quote-unquote solo kills. He can be in a lane by himself, and there can be an Ice Blast there or a Sunstraiku, and it can help and make him get actually a kill. So that threat is always there, and I think that's a very good thing. As far as the Lion pick, it doesn't super synergize with anything right now because Cold Feet takes 4 seconds to initialize, and the stun from Earth Spike is only 1 second at level 1. Nothing too crazy. So their killing potential early isn't going to be there. And then with Faceless Void, it's Chronosphere. I mean, Ancient Apparition Invoker makes more sense, but Lion, I mean, it's just like, it's not going to have that kind of impact. He's going to be able to burst someone down in Chronosphere, which might be pretty good. Like, maybe Faceless Void can go on one person, he'll die, and then Lion can finger another person, make sure 2 people die in the Chronosphere. That is something that's possible. But the Dire's team is more interesting to me. I would say Radiant's team's more solid so far, because I always want, good synergy, good lockdown, and Dire right now have just slows, and that's really strong. Their chase potential is going to be good because of those slows, but if someone goes on them, the slows don't mean much, and you still need to lockdown, and Dire isn't able to stun anyone. They currently have an Ancient Seal for the Faceless Void, which is something the Radiant picked into. That is definitely true, and so there's going to be that, and that's a really good counter to Faceless Void. I think picking Skywrath Mage into a Faceless Void is very, very good. It's an instant silence, and you can't do anything about that unless he gets a BKB or unless there's a silencer on their team. But despite that, wow, we have Anti-Mage pick from the Dire. No lockdown whatsoever, and then Storm Spirit being picked up by the Radiant. So I called it, guys, the reach. And so now Faceless Void is that team fight ult that I said would be good against a front line that they have. And then they have something with actual reach, Storm Spirit, able to go back and combo that Skywrath Mage before anything happens and get a kill on them. Or the Lich. So those are 2 things, maybe even the Anti-Mage. Calling out, who's playing who? I'm Shelly, let me test. Is my co-caster here? Rainbow, are you there? Damn. I was actually looking forward to having a new co-caster just for, change it up for a little bit and just get to know one more person, but unfortunately that is not going to be an option for me. It is solo cast. I am forever alone. In the mid lane, Den, the guy who waited for me, very polite in the lobby. Thank you, shout out to Den, playing the Viper in the mid lane. Off lane, Bristleback being played by Bro Crates. The Skywrath Mage played by Toon Tamer here in the top lane. Lich, the off lane Lich, probably going to help out the Bristleback, or maybe at least sacrifice one of the creeps, being played by a 4FC.common. Anti-Mage being played by Moomin. In the Radiant side, GT Angel playing the off lane Faceless Void. In the mid lane, Cloud playing the Storm Spirit. Invoker, the safe lane farmer for this lane. Korean Letters, I've seen him play multiple times. He's playing really good. Ensphere is actually a solid player I have seen multiple times, playing the Lion here in the bottom lane as support. And to Soulman, Ancient Apparition, the last member of the Radiant team. So I did know that these are going to be kind of supports that are going to be hanging out with each other, but the threat from them isn't going to be too crazy. They do have an Invoker with range to add with the Chilling Touch from Ancient Apparition, so they got a tri-range lane with Chilling Touch, which is going to be really good, but the Lich is going to be pulling the lane back, and how you combat that is by pulling this lane, and then the Lich, you almost got to thank the Lich, because then it more balances out the waves. The question is the Dire going to block this easy camp? Because that's the best thing the Dire can do right now. If there's a Lich, one thing you have to do as a Lich is block the easy camp, the pull camp, because you don't want them counteracting your pull from sacrifice by pulling themselves, and so that's definitely true. Chilling Touch is pre-cocked on the supports. Are they going to actually go? Ancient Apparition puts down a support because he thinks there's an observer there, but okay, so guys, I've said this multiple times. If you're going to put down a sentry, make sure to put it right here, or at least on the rock here, because you want to be able to get this ward, and right where this sentry is, you see, it's barely just not on it, and that's super unfortunate, but this ward is going to be there every time, so this sentry placement has to be on the right place, and unfortunately they're not able to see that observer, and they're going to be very good about that. Now, they actually placed a sentry right here as well. I do this sometimes to make sure that there is no ward here, but most likely there isn't actually a ward there, and it's a good placement, but mainly now the Radiant doesn't have any sentries left, and this is going to be really bad for the Radiant team. And good for the Dire team, because look at the wave, it's pulled back. They're feeling really good about this, and at least the stacking pulling can still happen. And so here's the pull, it's happening now, it has been stacked, Ancient Apparition here, and the Dire's going to be happy to get one wave to their tower, but now it's going to pull back. Pulling up the last hits, 8 last hits on the Anti-Mage. He's doing styling, and he has a Quelling Blade to help that right along. And yeah, let me take a swig of drink here as we're just waiting for some action to happen. Actually, there's some bottom, I'm going to set down my drink. Looks like the Dire is kind of trying to sap some XP here. And now I'm going to take a drink. Yes. Moomin being played by AM. Yes, Moomin being played by AM. That is the correct statement now. AM being played by Moomin. And yeah, he's getting some pretty good CS up here against the Faceless Void, who doesn't want to get mana braked. Or mana break. He's like doing really good against him. Cutting down on his ability to escape, and he gets a couple more last hits on him. If he even goes aggressive and just blinks on him, gets a couple last hits, he can't actually mana walk away. If he gets 1 or 2 hits from a blink, there's nothing that Faceless Void can do, and maybe they can kill him. Mid lane, Viper's going to be doing really good against the Storm Spirit in most cases, and yes, you can see it here. 14 hits against 7 of Storm Spirit's last hits, in addition to having pretty good denies as well. So the Radiant team's going to be doing pretty good about that. But the Radiant supports need to like constantly pull, and unfortunately they're missing a couple of these pulls, which is making it so that the Lich is just doing work with that sacrifice. It is such a hard thing to combat, but you can benefit from it. You can constantly pull, and that's really, really good. And there's the stack, and actually gets a range creep out of it. Back in the mid lane, the last hits still strong in Viper's favor. But Storm Spirit's not doing too bad despite that fact. The Neurotoxin, Nether Toxin, is only rank 1. He did get a point into Corrosive Skin, and instead he's getting 2 levels of Poison Attack. The slow going from 10 to 20%. And what this means is that he's trying to control the lane. And unfortunately, he's not actually rune controlling that well, as a regeneration rune goes the way of Storm Spirit. So Viper has chosen to harass by getting this second point into Poison Attack, yet now the Storm Spirit has a regen rune, which he's now just going on the Viper and saying, hey, I have this regen rune, but wow, the Viper might actually get a kill. This might be forced to pop the regen rune. Is he actually gonna? Wow, that was really close, but now the Viper is gonna get hit by the tower. Wow, that could be our first blood. Wow, that was so close. Absolutely insanely close. Yes, and he's going that mech, so he has that regen from the headdress right now, and that's really good. He's got a Ring of Aquila as well, so he's pretty strong right now. He is level 3 in poison attacks. Now there's the damage, the attack slow, the move slow, and that is going to... But the thing is, the Viper has such a small window of time that he can kill the Storm Spirit right now. Storm Spirit's going to get lucky with another Invis rune on the top rune here. He has a ward, he knows where it is, and that's just going to be really bad. Unfortunate, in fact, the Storm Spirit's looking to maybe go up on Viper, but did Viper spot out the top rune? He didn't. So if Viper goes for last hits, this might be our first blood. Wow, he's playing so far back right now. He has a salve, he's popping it, and this is going to mean Storm Spirit's not going to have it as easier in a kill. He's going straight on me, he pops the Vortex first, and unfortunately, you want to kind of maybe do the Remnant first, but I don't completely agree with this. Once again, the level 3 points into Overload, and I say once again, but I actually said that in a previous game. Hey, my co-caster actually reconnected, so I'll be able to talk to him in a second. Oh, he's back now. Say hi, Rainbow the Zookeeper. Actually, don't say hi, because mid lane, Viper is going on this Storm Spirit. He's not 6 yet, so he can't ball away. He's actually manning up on him. Can he get a kill? No, first blood goes the way of Viper just before Faceless Void gets here to try to help out and take over the mid lane in the meantime. Rainbow, are you there? Oh, Rainbow's not there. Damn. Oh,
how you doing?
Hey, man. So can I call you Rainbow? Is that what you want to be referred to by?
Yeah, it's all good.
Howdy. I can't say I've seen your face around here that often.
What?
What?
I'm like the most known renowned
well, I'm super new.
All of RD2L.
I'm actually the new guy. It's not you. As Skywrath Mage actually goes the Faceless Void's way, as Storm Spirit TP'd mid and actually used Ball Lightning with that kill XP that he got from that last kill, because he got level 6 and was able to do something with it. But yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad to have you. Sunstrike, who actually hits the Bristleback in the bot lane. I wish I would have seen the beginning of that kill, but intros are more important. We're building a co-caster bond right here. And yeah, so welcome to the cast. You're on the twitch.tv/nextlevel stream. I don't know if you knew that. Bringing it nice, yeah. First bringing.
I figured out the stats.
Dude, nice. I did not know it was F10. I wish that was like said somewhere. I'm pretty sure that. Oh shit, in the mid lane. Yes. Now that we're getting things under control, Viper goes down to the Radiant again. This Faceless Void is continuing to roam. This time blowing Chronosphere, and a courier going the way of the Dire team. Radiant's courier was killed. Interesting. I think I can click that pop-up and actually go to where the location was, but I didn't click it fast enough.
Yeah, I didn't click it either. I'm not sure where it died.
Yeah, it's all a learning process. Probably I'm somewhere in here, I'm guessing. But yeah, sweet. So yeah, just to kind of let you know, because I don't know if have you seen any of my casts before, or am I new to you as well?
I've never actually watched your cast before. I've seen a couple posts and comments from you from time to time, but I haven't bothered clicking.
Thanks, man.
Shit
Well,
'cause I'm lazy.
I'm generally the play-by-play caster, and then Ranktious, my co-caster, is the analysis caster. So I generally like to take the play-by-play. But how we do it is if you like notice a fight is happening before I do, you can just go ahead and cast it play-by-play if you want, if you're comfortable doing that, or I can take it over for you, whichever way you want to go.
That sounds good. I can just yell at you for him.
Sweet. Yeah. Cool. Nice. So, I don't know. Did you reconnected to the game and like didn't see much? So, are you coming like fresh into the game, kind of?
Yeah, I completely missed it. I
Got
hit
it.
airplane mode on my computer because I got a new one and I didn't know that had it.
Gotcha. Well, to recap, the Radiant tri-lane hasn't done extremely well to combat the pull from the sacrifice from the Lich in the aggro tri-lane on the Dire side. They've pulled some of the easy camp a good amount of times because it wasn't blocked by the Dire side. But I guess the Dire has won, and the Radiant hasn't pulled it enough, and the Dire team has been really comfortable getting levels here and denying the farm from this Invoker. The Invoker has 26 last hits, and the Bristleback's doing okay. He has half last hits, but actually there's going to be some action here. There's the Chilling Touch blown on the supports, and AA is wrapping around, but he's kind of out of position if the Dire wanted to go on him. There is no level 6 yet on the Lich, but he's really close, so there will be no engagement just yet. But the offlane's been going really well for Moomin, playing the anti-mages. The farm is real. And Faceless Void's been doing, I guess, okay. He only has 8 last hits, but his experience has been okay. He's level 8, so he's doing just fine. Storm Spirit actually finding the Skywrath Mage with the vision from the Static Remnant, and that's a kill going the way of the Storm Spirit. Wow, there's a Chronosphere hitting the 2 people here on the Dire, but he knows without Storm Spirit there's no damage. And that's a Chronosphere to no avail going the top lane, but they did get a kill on the Skywrath Mage. On the bottom lane, there's some Mana Steal happening on the Bristleback, but wow, the damage is coming out from Lich. The Frost Blast was so strong at rank 3, and now Invoker's by himself. He's getting, there's no nasal goo coming out from Bristleback, so there's not going to actually be that slow, but the Quills are going to take the kill for sure.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Wow. So let's see, looking at items being chosen here, Bristleback has some treads and plenty of regen. Lich has phase boots. Wow, that's interesting, despite the fact that there is a Skywrath Mage on their team, and the mana regen is going to be important. Is there going to be any mana boots coming out from this team? Wow, it's going to be a solo mana boot team coming out from the Dire. Skywrath Mage is certainly going to have to get mana boots, but he's playing the 5 role, and he's not going to get it for a while, so that's unfortunate for the Dire team. Mana boots are pretty important, I would normally say, but so, if you're a Lich and you want to get phase boots, it might come in handy. Maybe we'll see. But
I definitely agree with you. I'm not sure they'll need both or 2 sets of mana boots this game because Viper and Bristle don't use too much mana as it is, and Bristle should be able to sustain his own.
That's true. Once he gets some items, and especially because he didn't go goo like at all right now, which I don't know if I agree. 1 point in goo is going to give so much slow per stack that it's pretty nice to have, but sometimes you want to at least just get that extra damage reduction and I guess prioritizing the damage. But here's the thing. Actually, now I take my words back because I was saying that the Dire team, none of them have actual stuns. Every single one of them has a slow except for Anti-Mage. So they have so much slows. So I guess they don't really need the nasal goo coming out from Bristleback because they are just literally slows for days. So Bristleback just prioritizing damage.
I actually hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, that's what I was noting in the draft. I'm like, man, it's really nice to have some solid stuns somewhere. They're really banking on slows a lot, and, that's not good against a Storm Spirit. So the Storm Spirit pick was a good one because he needs to get locked down. And he's actually going on the Viper in the mid lane. Viper getting comboed a little bit, but he doesn't have the damage, and now he has to zip-zop, put and pop away as a TP comes back. From the Faceless Void, he does go in. He does have Chronosphere. He's actually getting some bashes, so he might not need it, but it gets expended right there on the tower. Sunstrike coming out from Invoker to steal the kill. Typical team fight Invoker contribution. Yeah. So I was going to say Storm Spirit's a really good pick because they just have no stuns. They need an Orchid or a Scythe of Ice or something on the Dire team to combat Storm Spirit because he's just going to have a heyday. He has nothing to really scare him. And wow, a big zip coming on the bot lane. He goes on the Lich, gets the kill, and now he's comboing even more with the Chilling Touch coming out from the Radiant. Lion and Ancient Apparition are there to finish up the Bristleback. That passive not helping you against all that magic damage.
Yeah, that was a really good play off of that regen from the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. When you saw a Storm Spirit go on mid and your bot lane from the Dire, you do not expect Storm Spirit to zip bottom that fast. You're expecting him to be out of mana and not be able to do anything. So that quick action showing its strength there. So if you had to predict based on the draft, how do you think the mid game is going to go as we progress into the mid game?
Just based on the draft, I think there's not enough to lock down the cores of the Radiant, so I'd have to give them the favor because I think they have enough stuns and damage to deal with anybody on the Dire team. Even the Bristleback, I'd say.
Definitely. I would say, so like that is definitely true. The question is, Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury, and he got his Battle Fury like 11 minutes in or something crazy. So he's feeling really good. And he'll be able to get his farm on. And if he goes crazy, and I missed a kill on Lich, looks like in the bot lane by the roaming supports, we're able to Chilling Touch and Finger to Death him. Actually, no, he didn't actually even use Finger to Death. He didn't even have the mana for it. Probably a Mystic Flare, I think was used. No, it wasn't a Mystic Flare. It was the Ice Blast? No, not even an Ice Blast used.
Flying top.
Oh, yeah. And it might actually be off the mark as they dive the Faceless Void, unfortunately, into the mana break happening as well. He doesn't have enough mana because the mana break stole all his mana, so he can't time walk away. A couple more right clicks. Is there going to be a blink, or is he going to give him the loop-de-loo with the tower? And unfortunately, he's not able to get another tower click. Lion TPing in, Salve being popped on Faceless Void. Storm Spirit coming in, locking down the Anti-Mage, and this will be the first kill on the Anti-Mage, despite the fact that he had that Battle Fury. That is unfortunate.
That was big.
Pretty damn big. It's always, you want to get, you feel good with that Battle Fury, and you have a rank 4 into your blink, or actually rank 3 despite that, and he's, you always feel strong, but wow, Storm Spirit's pretty good about showing up and locking you down.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Anti-Mage, the Faceless Void had backtracked his ultimate.
Is that so? I didn't actually notice that. Good observation. Wow, that's, yeah. And that's a rank 1 backtrack as well. Oh, in the mid lane, there's a Chronosphere onto the Viper, so Viper not having the best day. This Faceless Void has been able to roam mid a couple of times now. And Viper, because of that, hasn't even finished his mech. Yeah, he needs the recipe for the 900 gold away. And this is 14 minutes in, and this Viper, which is supposed to annihilate his lane, which he was originally, but the roam from Faceless Void has shut down the Viper, and that's the best way to keep a Viper down.
Yeah, his Viper's really shut down, and he's almost got his mech, but it's still going to be really late, and I'm not sure that they'll be able to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. Radiant looking to group up here in the bot lane as their tower goes down. Storm Spirit looking at the bot row, and he's looking to head them off. There is no tower here. It is dead. So, the Courier, he zips in. Does he see the Courier? He actually goes for the Courier rather than kill. He's going to go for the kill first, is he? Oh, he's going for the Courier. And there's the Courier death. He might be able to get something else, but Lich is super low HP. And Storm Spirit's looking to get into a safe spot, regen his mana, and then zip to safety.
Up here. He might actually catch the Lich.
Yeah, he remnants. He's actually going to get a kill on Lich. No way. Oh, one more right click from the... Oh, nice. The Frostblast slowing his, but he's going to be here. He's dead. He's silenced up. Viper Strike to slow.
That'll be Viper's mech. He got a lot of gold off of the Storm Spirit.
Wow.
I'd say that's almost worth it, but he fed 700 gold, so it's probably about even trade.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That mega kill gold, like that. Imagine back in the day when that wasn't a thing, you wouldn't get that much more gold for people that that have a mega kill streak. That was a big change, and that shows itself here. It just allows the comeback potential to be a little bit more, which is good. And the Radiant...
Yeah, that kill's really going to help.
Yeah, and so it all comes down to the Anti-Mage, just like every other game. This is a classic hard carry pick where it's not like a Faceless Void that can do a lot of action in the early game. He doesn't have a Chronosphere. He can try to do some right clicks, maybe clean up some kills, but they're banking on the late game, and we'll see if they get there.
Dire's middle tower is
but even then, like...
what I'm finding interesting...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, Anti-Mage wants to be able to right-click a lockdown hero, but he doesn't have a lockdown on their team. There's a lot of slows, but still no stuns. Storm Spirit, speaking of which, not being locked down. Mana break on the Storm Spirit, doing a lot of damage, but the Viper goes down to the Sunstrike first. Chronosphere, and it gets a Faceless Void. He dies. The Faceless Void dies in recompense. And Invoker getting killed. He's running back to his teammates as Storm Spirit gets away as well. There's the blink, and Anti-Mage secures that kill as the Lich goes down right here in the mid part of the jungle. And Radiant looking to sort of re-engage here. They have the Anti-Mage, but he blinks to safety. He has just enough mana to blink next to his tower. So sort of an even trade-ish. That was Chronosphere used, and Nasal Goo is online, but not going to do anything. At least the Anti-Mage didn't die, and that's a Faceless Void and a Storm Spirit kill, so pretty good for the Dire team. And Ice Blast being used on the... Oh no, the Sunstrike actually misses because of the slow coming out from Hex, but he does die anyways. So about the dead. Yeah, so that was, looks like it kind of, that's a wash, I'd say. Now that the Radiant did get that kill on the Bristleback, it's sort of a wash. Anti-Mage is farming away, though.
Yeah, after that pickup on the Bristleback, that trade definitely favored favored the Radiant. The Lich had a really strong TP, killing the Faceless Void in the Chronosphere.
Yeah, that's true. That was really huge. That Chronosphere didn't have a big impact, and well, Mask of Madness is built on Faceless Void, but that kind of attributed to his squishiness in that fight. He had it popped, and that's 30% extra damage right on his face. What is?
They're gonna take their ancient stack here, and he's gonna pop his mask. I don't think they'll be able to take it.
Ooh, ouchie. This is the second time I've seen a Storm Spirit actually build Yules. What do you think about this, rather than an Orchid, which basically gives the same mana regen, if not a little bit more, and then actually can silence people rather than just Yules them?
It's not something I've seen before. I've never seen a Storm Spirit rush a Yule Scepter, so I'm not entirely sure what to think about it. It's good for just taking someone out of the fight or removing silences from yourself.
Yeah, I guess the silence is definitely true. Speaking of Storm Spirit, there was an Ice Blast mid, and that Zip zopped into the mid lane and cleaned up the Skywrath Mage. But yeah, he had a DD rune. But this is the thing: is you need Anti-Mage before he gets his Manta to get silenced and killed. You need to be able to, like, the Orchid's such a good counter to Anti-Mage before he gets his Manta, and that's when you need to keep Anti-Mage down. And as a Storm Spirit, that's when you have a heyday killing him. There's no way he can get away. Even if he blinks, you can just zip zop to his direction. And the Yules is not going to give you that same functionality.
DD Storm Spirit, invisible in mid.
Wow, DD, and the DD does wear off, but he is invis. He gets in the tower range, so he actually gets concussive shot. They don't see him here, the Yules, doing a little bit, but the Skywrath Mage does get ice blasted, and that's a kill. Wow, another courier. He's going for it again. Does he have one more Zop? He doesn't. He used way too much mana. This is getting so greedy. The TP, the courier bait's way too strong, and unfortunately, the kill does. Anti-Mage shows up to try to get some of that gold as well. Mid tower going the way of the Radiant. There's a little bit of a price for that. The distraction was Wheel. Was the courier the distraction, or was the Storm Spirit a distraction to help get mid tower? Who knows? But it does go both ways.
And Invoker's finally opting to grab a point in his Wex at level 12.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little late to be grabbing it now.
I'm a huge fan of getting Wex even earlier than that, because you need to be able to get to invis and have that threat of forcing them to buy detection if you don't have another invis hero, which they don't. And I just see so many invokers die early because they don't have that 1 point in Wex. I mean, rushing the Forge Spirits.
The Wex point really provides really a lot of value in the Wex point.
Yeah, I agree completely. And just like Alacrity too, if you got all these Exort levels, like Alacrity is a pretty good spell when used a certain way. And yeah, I mean, you got all that Quas levels as well, so Cold Snap's really good, and so Alacrity plus Cold Snap is just a strong thing. But oh, now Invoker, speaking of which, goes on. He's gonna Ghost Walk finally. It's using it, but there is a smoke pop. No, that's not gonna reveal invis units, unfortunately. It's the other type of consumable item. But yeah, Invoker happy to get this. Well, you won't actually grab the regen rune, but saving it for the Storm Spirit, which is top, so they're just going to grab it. And Storm Spirit's farming away. Now he's going as Orchid, so it's going to be later, but unfortunately, this is like the bad order. If you're going to go Orchid, you need to do it quicker, because notice what Anti-Mage has now. He's got the Ultimate Orb, he's got the recipe for the Manta, and he has the Yasha. It's complete. He can get out of that silence, and now the Radiant team have zero way of locking down Anti-Mage, aside from a Chronosphere.
If the Lion were to get a blink up, I think they'll be okay on the lockdown for the Anti-Mage, combined with Hex and the Earth Spike.
Yeah.
That's such a stupid name for a spell.
I know, right? Earth Spike. Well, it's like they have Impale on Nyx, Earth Spike on Lion, and then but bottom lane, Anti-Mage is getting ripped, or Anti-Mage is ripping apart Invoker. He gets trapped in between the illusions and then just gets bursted by Mana Break. And on another part on the map, Bristleback goes down in the mid lane. It appears to be, actually there's so much action, so many people dying. I actually missed a lot of this fight, but Faceless Void is going on Lich now as Viper gets a double kill in the back line. So wow, the ult being used, the Chain Frost from Lich, getting a kill in the Faceless Void, and a huge kill at that. That always feels bad, but the Viper killed the Lion on the back lines, and that's a 4 for 2, all in all, going the way of the Dire team.
Radiant's bottom tower.
There's an absolutely huge Chronosphere from the Void on the entire Dire team that was in the mid lane, and unfortunately they just didn't have the damage to take everyone down.
Damn, yeah, that's true. I mean, they need a really good meatball and some nukes. The Ice Blast has to be there, and yeah, for sure. They'd have that potential, but if it's not there, then it's not there. Lich is definitely going to go down here. The Ice Blast plus the Reach coming out from the Storm Spirit is such a good combo, and tons of TPs while the Electric Vortex is going on the Viper, and more slows coming out from the Overload, and they're definitely going to be able to get this kill. And wow, the Skywrath Mage might go on this. Yeah, Storm Spirit zip stops away. Now the Raid, wow, he actually had more mana. Let's see if yeah. Let me see if I can up your volume in game here. It's kind of quiet. Oh, Faceless Void going on the Bristleback. Doesn't slow from Time Walk. It was off the mark. Bristleback top, turning around to Goo. And the Concussive Touch slows as well. The Yule's keeping him in place, but they don't have enough. Storm Spirit needs mana. He needs to back up for a little bit. And in the meanwhile, Anti-Mage doing exactly what he can do. Moomin playing it well and split pushing the T2 tower going the way of the Dire team. And he's not stopping there. The Radiant have to completely turn around, and that's why they're headed back to base, stopping the Radiant's push in their tracks. And the TP is going top as well. Anti-Mage is going to keep on farming.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Invoker really by
if you direct your attention at the AA, he's 500 gold from a negative scepter, and that could really turn the team fights into their favor.
So true, absolutely true. And like that's yeah, such a powerful Agnims, and it needs to be level 2 to really have a crazy impact. So hopefully you get some levels after this as well. But yeah, this is going to be really good. Anti-Mage is feeling really strong, but Ancient Apparition is going to be there to at least hopefully have a bigger impact on those team fights. So those Chronospheres will get more punished. Wow, the Sunstrike was on the mark. I thought it was going to be on the Skywrath Mage, but it actually hits the Lich. And now with that, Radiance going in, they have a Chronosphere, and they're actually able to bash up the Bristleback without using the Chronosphere. There it is used. The Mystic Flare off, it's going to hit him for a little bit, so that makes him have to go away. He might have gone on the Viper had it not been for that. And now they're going to slow him down. Is there going to be a Cold Snap? I'm not sure. He's not. He could actually queue it up in 8 seconds. The 4 staff's there, but nothing really to chase. And like you said, Lion is saving up for that Blink Dagger, it appears, and they definitely need it to be able to chase and lock down the Anti-Mage. And speaking of Anti-Mage, he's low HP in the top lane, pushing the tower. The tier 2 did go down once again, but the Sunstrike is off the mark. Oh, the bash. He's doing so much damage, but now the Time Walk isn't going to be there. He can't chase this, and the Blink's going to come from Anti-Mage in 1 second.
The bash actually lost them the kill there because he stunned him right before he walked into the Sunstrike.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I thought that that was on the mark, but whew, interesting. That's like, so the Sunstrikes haven't had the biggest impact here because there's been a little bit of that, like Hex comes out, slows them, makes Sunstrike miss, or bash or something like that. So not the best setups for Sunstrike, but a Necro being built by Invoker, so a little bit more push coming out from Invoker. I agree with that. He'll be able to split push a little bit better, and there's no invis on the Dire team, but yeah. Let me see if I can up your volume. I think voice volume is what does it.
Anti-Mage is actually sitting at 260 CS right now.
Yeah.
He's at 16k net worth at 25 minutes. This Anti-Mage is really big. And Radiant are going to have a problem if they can't end this game soon, I think.
Yeah, the gold graph is certainly 6,000 gold in the way of the Dire's team. And looking at the net worth, wow, Anti-Mage is just 16k to Invoker's 12k. Absolutely insane, and he's going to get right out of control here. And once again, even if he does get locked down, yeah, you talked about the, well, Skywrath Mage actually going down to the Storm Spirit in the mid lane. That was getting pinged out after the Ice Blast, I think, hit him. And I think Ancient Apparition has the Ags now, so yes, that was a good setup for that. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, at one point in the game, the Blink Earth Spike coming out from Lion is a good initiation if they can lock him down, but now he's going to have Heart. He actually has it right now, and there's certainly no way. Look at how strong Anti-Mage feels. He turns, he mantas, he's looking to just burn down Storm Spirit's mana, and if he had got a couple more hits on him, he might have been able to get him out of Ball Lightning range. But now, in the top lane, Faceless Void pushing the top tower. TPs come out from Bristleback. The whole team, Skywrath Mage as well as Viper are here now, and Faceless Void time walks into the trees, and he's going to TP away, and the denied tower
has been denied.
The Radiants are doing a pretty good job of defending their towers with TPs. They've lost most of them now, but the Dire have a pretty scary lineup to try and stop. Or sorry, the Radiant have a scary lineup to try and stop their push.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to TP into a Chronosphere.
It's very true. And that goes to also saying for pushing up to high ground, the Dire have an advantage and they want to push high ground with this Anti-Mage. Oh wow, they're actually going on the Anti-Mage. Is there going to be an Ice Blast on this? He's jumping into 3 of them. There's the supports coming out, but actually the Yules was not very good. It was a defensive Yules actually from the Storm Spirit, but now the Earth Spike onto the Anti-Mage. He's really low HP, but he's still fighting. Wow, Storm Spirit goes on the backlines through the Viper Strike as well as the Poison Attack. Dire looking to chase. The Ice Blast is still ticking. Lich is so much hurt right now, and he mechs during the Ice Blast, so no healing was done, and that's a death for Skywrath Mage as well. Long Viper Strike from the Ags on the Viper. Invoker's getting right-click, Poison Tech, and slowed, and no Ghost Walk to his name right now. Here comes Anti-Mage. He's got a heart. He's regenning. He's going to feel just fine as he regens through this. Is there going to be another Ice Blast? He has it up in 1 second. He can actually, if he hits the... Oh, wow, the Chronosphere is on the Anti-Mage, and he's doing work on this. And that's a kill going the way of the Chronosphere. Faceless Void killed you.
That's a really big kill. But the Void just barely tickled the Anti-Mage. He barely got the kill there.
Yeah. Heart seems to be pretty good, and this Faceless Void has got no farm to his name. He's going the Aghanim Scepter, which might be a pretty good choice given that Invoker's spells are going to start hitting really hard once Wex is getting leveled up, and the Ice Blast from Ancient Apparition, which is now level 2. And so I could see that being pretty good if he can just cast them all like over and over. The question is there big ultimates coming out from both these teams where one of the teams can push against the other while the ultimates are down? And let me look at the Dire's team's ultimates. There's a low cooldown on Frost Blast at rank 3, or Chain Frost, and there's none pretty much on all these other people. So Dire can fight often, I'd say. And so like Skywrath Mage's ult is definitely low cooldown at rank 1, let alone rank 2 and 3. And Bristleback actually goes down in because he's diving in the mid lane. He was by himself, it appears. Just kind of out of position, I suppose, or away from his team. But going back on what I was saying, now the fact that Faceless Void's able to pick up the Aghanim Scepter, he can fight way more often, and the cooldown on his ultimate severely is reduced.
Yeah, I see exactly where you're coming from, and I agree with the Agnum's pickup on the Void. Unfortunately, even with his Ags, and I think it's a 60-second cooldown now, I'm not sure they'll be able to take every fight because they just don't have the DPS.
Yeah, that's the main question. It has to be amazing ultimates, and it has to be insanely good positioning on the Invoker to hit like meteors and sunstrikes that are just like so high damage with the Ice Blast and the Finger. They have to be on their mark because Anti-Mage is so tanky right now. And speaking of which, Dire actually initiates on the Radiant Frost Blast, bounces only a couple times, and the Lion gets initially like instantly killed by the Frost Blast as well. So that's Lion completely dead. Now, Radiant looking to back up because the Storm Spirit's out of mana, and the mana break is there for the mini stun plus the huge kill. That was like 100-0 on the Storm Spirit because of how much mana he was missing. Anti-Mage looking to chase now. Is there any follow-up? There's the Concussive Blast, but the Tornado from the Invoker does a little bit, but Anti-Mage is outside the Chronosphere, and he didn't be able to hit him. That's so bad, but I don't think they would have had the damage to kill him anyways. A TP coming out from Ancient Apparition, he will be able to get out because mana break is expended already, and now the Dire is looking to push in full force.
That was a really unfortunate Chronosphere.
Yep. Here's Ice Blast. It's actually only going to hit one of them. They are pushing way too far. Chrono harder than Ravage. Yeah, no, he's had a good Chronos. I wouldn't give him shit for that, but you can't expect the Anti-Mage to just like be up on you like that, and that's just unfortunate. A little bit of miscalculation. Tornado using the counter push just a little bit. Deafening Blast is there, doing a little bit, but wow, the Ancient Apparition's getting gone on by the Bristleback. He's so squishy, he's fragile, he completely bursts. Speaking of the, oh wow, the Bristleback gets fingered, but he's still living. He's still doing his thing, and there's going to be an Urge Charge to take him back up. Viper taking a couple of the tower hits, but Anti-Mage is full HP. He's got a heart, he doesn't care. He's just going to hit this, and Storm Spirit coming in on, locking him down. Is there going to be a Chronosphere? Actually, doesn't hit the Anti-Mage, but finally, Anti-Mage does walk into the Chronosphere after the Storm Spirit dies. Now Anti-Mage is kind of wondering who he's going to go on. Faceless Void walks the other direction, and he's walking straight into a ward, though. The Dire knows that he's here. Is there going to be a time walk? Oh, there's not going to be actually a silence. He didn't have enough mana for it after he used the Arcane Bolt. But, yeah, no good. You can't have your Storm Spirit die, and Invoker needs to be there for those meatballs. Meatballs are your huge damaging item right now, and I haven't seen one meatball in a Chronosphere.
There it goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a meatball, but yeah, not the best. Oh, wow.
Nice deny on the tower.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet deny. Lich getting hit by the Ice Blast, and he's super close. Sunstrike going to be off the mark because he juked it a little bit. But Faceless Void maybe looking to get some. No, he's going to walk away just fine. And Dire able to get a tower, I suppose, and put down an Observer ward. So Dire's going to have pretty good map control in terms of knowing where the Radiant are. They need to get a little bit more wards in the jungle, though. But yeah, feeling really good. Anti-Mage, he's far from 6 slotted. So he has much that he can go. And he's almost got 4.5k gold in the bank right now.
Yeah, do you think he'll go for a Butterfly or a Basher next year?
Well, I think Butterfly wouldn't be a good idea because in Chronosphere your evasion's negated. So it's not like that's going to really have that big of an impact. And the fact that Faceless Void has a rank 3 with Ag's Chronosphere, yeah, you're going to be in that Chronosphere a lot probably. Assuming that he actually lands the Chronosphere on the Anti-Mage, which he hasn't in the last 2 engagements. But that's, of course, pretty hard to do when blinking slamming into Anti-Mage, dodging your Chronospheres. But yeah, I would say a Basher would be better.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Basher up on the Anti-Mage because there's been a lot of the time where people have been TPing out. He only has 1 mana void, so he can only stop the 1 TP.
Yeah, definitely a good question.
5,300 gold.
Yeah. And the Dire team doesn't have enough that much lockdown, so I think the Basher would be really good. Eventually into Abyssal, that'd be really good. But besides that, he can just go. Oh, Dire team grouped up, looking to take Roshan. Does the Radiant know about this? They don't. They don't really see the wards. They have their own ward right here, but that's it. And Roshan's going to go down post haste with the medallion coming out from the Lich. Actually, that's not on the Lich. Who has that medallion? Oh, it's the Bristleback. Sunstrike does spot it out. Ice Blast being used as well. Unfortunately, it's not going to be timed perfectly where it's going to steal Roshan, but that's so hard to do. And Storm Spirit's in its own jungle. Wow, he might actually get caught out. Oh, he sees the vision from the Static Remnant after the Roshan was killed. That was a good Static Remnant to see where they are, and so now he's going to go to safety. Dire team kind of just taking control. The Dire can farm the Radiant jungle and win by attrition. We'll see when they actually...
Storm's going to go.
Oh, wow. Storm Spirit comes in, but the Ancient Seal's there, and he just stood there like, what am I going to do? I have a Yule Scepter, and now Lich is here as well. He stands right in the way of the ward, though, and Yule's up the Lich. Now he's going to kill the Skywrath Mage with a couple right clicks. There's the Frost. Chain Frost doing a little bit of damage, but not able to kill him. Oh, he's walking straight into a Viper, though. This is so bad. He has no mana, and the deadest Storm Spirit ever. Like a snake.
Yeah, Storm Spirit, I think, shouldn't have gone for all that. He's really risking a lot for his team.
Yep. And the Forge Bros plus the Necro Bros pushing top lane, so Viper TP's back up there, and he's going to have to go back to base anyways after he farms this. Anti-Mage, has he built his next item? He has not. Well, he got a BKB. Which is an awesome item, I would say, because there's a good amount of stuff that you got to worry about on the Radiant team, and especially just like the Storm Spirit being able to lock you down. So I think this is an pretty okay choice. But
yeah, I think it's a good pickup.
He certainly needs the Basher. It's like he needed BKB and Basher, and now he can just like right click and not have to worry about things anymore. So those 2 items are really what he needs.
A couple of big item pickups. The Viper just picked up his Manta Style, and the Invoker actually got a Scythe up. So we could look to that, look towards that to be the playmaker.
Definitely. And I can't say that this Invoker has had the biggest impact so far. I think it's not no shots fired. I think he's played very well. It's one of those team things. As a team, you have to be organized. And when Chronospheres happen, like that's the main reason you drafted this. Or whoever the captain was is mainly you got to set up those really strong nukes and then Deafening Blast out of Chronosphere. And speaking of Invoker, he's by himself right now. Anti-Mage is there. There's no actual Basses, and Ghostwalk's going to be there. No gem or detection to their name right now. But let's see, what else? What does Lion have? Probably just support items. He does have his Blinker now, so he's going to be able to initiate a little bit okay there. And, but Faceless Void, he doesn't have any damage.
Oh, big Chrono Top.
Ooh, Chrono Top. It's on the Bristleback. He's doing a little bit of damage. Viper's there, but he gets Yule's. Bristleback might go down to this. Bro Crate's finally getting killed. An Ancient Apparitional coming. It's not going to hit anyone. It's not going to hit Viper, and Viper's going to run away. But the Time Walk slow is there. Is there going to be any bashes? Unfortunately, the slow from Corrosive Skin doing so much work. Look how slowed he is. That's not even a Viper Strike ult. That's just him slowed from Corrosive Skin and Poison Attack. So much slow, and there's no more mana left for Viper, but he's actually getting baited into this a little bit. The Chronosphere, or the Faceless Void goes back in, but there's the Chain Frost. Unfortunately, it didn't bounce to the Lion. That would have been really good, but the Viper's going to go down to this. The Aegis does get popped. They actually needed to probably pop that, and now there's going to be a little bit. Is there going to be a Frost Blast onto the Faceless Void? There is going to be a little bit more damage, but they need to catch up. Sunstrike's not going to be on the mark. Viper Strike onto the Invoker. Does he have Ghost Walk for this? He's actually getting gone on, but there's the Force Staff. Now it's Ancient Apparition who's in trouble. Mystic Flare does a lot of damage, but the Ice Blast is there. There's the Tornado. Follow up in the the Storm Spirit comes in, doing a bunch of damage, instantly kills the Lich as well as the Viper. And the Skywrath went down before that. Wow.
That was a really, really nice turnaround for the Radiant there.
Yeah, that was so much kills like on the back of just an Ice Blast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the power of what comes through with the Aghanim.
Now there's the Hex, the Blink Hex, like we talked about. Faceless Void's Chronosphere being used as well, but unfortunately he trapped in all of the damage people, and there's no Meatball here. But there's the Sunstrike doing lots of damage, plus the follow-up from the Scythe of Ice. That was a good pick.
That was a really nice follow-up to that team fight. That Aghanim Scepter on Void is really paying off now.
Absolutely. That is such a scary threat, no matter what. And he thought he could farm there, but you know, when you're none of your team there, you might as well just farm your own jungle. So a little bit of a misplay as far as positioning goes, but now this is the tough part. Can Dire actually push uphill? And will Faceless Void get too farmed because of that after they're just counter pushing the lanes a little bit? I mean, Anti-Mage's gonna farm better. He's gonna get 6 slotted faster. Can they actually get a Rax? I don't know.
Well, the Void's just picked up a Maelstrom from that fight, and he's starting to get some damage. But I think it's going to take probably another big team fight in the favor of Radiant for them to be able to push on their own accord.
Brocrate's going down here in the mid lane. He was getting nuked a lot by the Radiant team, but finally gets finished up. Ice Blast doing a ton of work, but Faceless Void on the back lines does kill the Lich, and Anti-Mage is dead for the longest time, so he's still dead. And that's 2 going the way of the Radiant team. The Radiant team really showing some signs of life after the fact that they've got some items up and they are ready to fight. Faceless Void still has Chronosphere. Maybe he can find someone that's pushing out in the mid lane, but he's going to need more help. Sunstrike has to be there. And currently it's on cooldown for 20 seconds. This is going to be tough. Let's see.
He has to be careful not to waste too much time camping.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly needs to get a lot of... If he can get farmed, then he can take down people in his Chronosphere. Currently, he has to rely on his team, so the onus is completely on this Faceless Void, in my opinion. The Storm Spirit can't do much because the Chronosphere is going to be there, and it's not like the Faceless Void can jump, or the Storm Spirit can jump in and like help during a Chronosphere. Ice Blast right on the mid lane. It's going to hit Viper. His Faceless Void going to crow this, but he's getting ultimately owned by the fact that he has no tank ability against that Viper, and the Skywrath Mage doing too much damage.
Yeah, Skywrath Mage is a really, really strong pick against the Faceless Void. Ancient Seals, it's a really strong spell.
It seriously is, like, an instant silence with that range. And the fact that he's already just so strong in this meta. Storm Spirit going on Brocrates once again. He's getting killed, but is he actually going to get caught? It takes him forever to kill the Bristleback in this case. And this Skywrath Mage does TP here, but to no avail. They're ready to defend a little bit more. Anti-Mage split pushing away, going on the Evoker in the top lane in the Radiant base. BKB is popped from Moomin. Can he make anything happen? Is there going to be another blink from this? TP back from Lion. Is anything happening in this bottom lane? No, there isn't. They're pretty much just TPing back. Now the BKB is almost over. Is there going to be a Hex? There it is. The Hex from Moomin, as well as the Sun strikes off the mark, but Earth Spike is going to be there. And that's a kill going away the Anti-Mage.
Nice kill.
Viper Strike is here. This is going to hurt Invoker. Can he Ghost Walk? It's on cooldown. Unfortunately, he invoked it, and the last tick of the poison Viper Strike is going to kill him. Wow, kills going both directions, and now Storm Spirit's going to actually do some damage to the tower right now. The Dire team are in the middle. They can't make anything happen. Rosh isn't up for at least another half a minute to 4 minutes from now. 3.5 minutes from now, so we'll see what happens. Dire's coming in. Is this gonna actually happen? Wow, he zipped right into the ghost, the smoked Radiant or Dire team. Now he's gonna TP away. Is there gonna be a chain frost used on this? Wow, Viper Strike's gonna TP all the way to the bot lane. This is gonna look funny. Is it? Or does it get just destroyed?
Does it follow him, or is it disjointed?
It like looked like it was going to him, but might have just disjointed along the way. Viper has a hasted rune though, and there's the Viper Strike. Look at the range on that thing. Oh wow, he gets dodged it by the Yule's Scepter. I didn't actually know the Yule's could even dodge a Viper Strike. That's awesome. There it is. The Yule's paying off.
From the Storm Spirit.
He could have just zipped away, but didn't really feel like it. Yeah, so the Radiant team are looking so strong. Now Faceless Void's really getting his farm on, and he's getting a Maelstrom now, so there's a little bit more damage and the ability to push creep waves and maybe farm a little bit better as well. And I would think that maybe something to allow. Well, I was gonna say maybe he should go something that's actual right click, like some really strong like MKB or something. Maelstrom, I don't know about. I want him to like really start hitting hard, but all in the mid lane there's a Sunstrike onto the Lich, comboing after that. But wow, Lion's getting slowed so much by this Viper. And that's a dead Viper, and the sorry, I got distracted at my house. The Ancient Apparition getting gone on by the Viper, slowing him down. He's gonna juke through the trees, but this is definitely a dead. Wow, the mana break from Anti-Mage as well, doing so much damage, and that Storm Spirit's dead from the mana break.
Huge ulti from the Anti-Mage.
Yeah. Seriously, so
take a look at buyback, and none of the Radiant have buyback.
Yeah, that's not good. What was he buying? He has the Orchid going like Ultimate Orb with the energy booster.
He disassembled his Arcane Boots, and he got an Ultimate Orb, so he might be going Sheep or Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah. And so that's unfortunate. Meatball is there, but once again, no follow-up. You gotta know the Tornado if you want to do some damage. But unfortunately, Chronosphere's here now, but no damage to follow up. They need that Sunstrike. They need that Meteor. This teamwork isn't happening right now. And now, because of that Bristleback, Brocrates is just going ham. Ancient Apparition ult is gonna hit the Anti-Mage, but it's gonna do nothing on him. Doesn't even matter. Bristleback's going back to lane. That's a mid-rax going the way of the Dire team, but they're not done. They have the top tower already dead from Anti-Mage pushing from before. And now this is gonna be a second rax going the way of the Dire team. This is complete domination. And there was no buybacks once again from the Radiant. On the backlines, Bristleback's taking all of the focus from the Radiant team. They're going on right now despite the facts. Objective-based gaming, he dodges the Sunstrike and he's still going to get away. Now the BKB's pop from the Anti-Mage. He's going on the Faceless Void, but he time walks away, so it's not even going to be a big initiation. The Faceless Void doesn't have Chronosphere up for 15 seconds, and they can't do anything with that. Radiant looping around. The Dire team are still here. Where's the Anti-Mage? He's still farming. They got 2 Raxes, and they're certainly feeling good about it.
Yeah, that was really good for the really big push from the Dire after those pickoffs from mid. Yeah. And now the Anti-Mage is sitting on 9,000 gold.
Damn, Storm Spirit going on the Bristleback and actually getting him along with the Skywrath Mage. That's 2 kills going the way of the Radiant. But wow, here's a Chain Frost. Is that an Actinem Scepter? Yes, it is. Doing tons of damage, but it's going to stop there. And it's actually... oh, wow, goes into the creeps. It's going to do more. It's still bouncing because it's an Ags. Can it do something? It's bouncing back. It's going to the... it's going to the Storm Spirit. Okay, and finally it stopped on the Storm Spirit, but he's done.
That was a good 20 bounces or so.
Yeah. Feels good, man.
Anti-Mage looking at Roshan.
Yep.
He just outright bought an Abyssal Blade, but he's still on 2,200 gold.
Wow. So he's going to have buyback. And I don't even know if he can carry this Aegis.
I think he's going to drop his boots for it.
Wow. I don't know. Having no TP and no boots, that's pretty rough. But he's not really worried about it. Does he have the lockdown? He doesn't have an Abyssal Blade now, so... that's a thing. Stun the target for 2 seconds.
Or they'll do a Viper. Yeah, they'll pass it over to the Viper.
Yep. So, yeah. There it is. Viper grabs it. That makes a little bit more sense to me. And, wait, what was in... oh, wait, yeah, they gave the Aegis to the Viper. That's right. Cool. So, yeah, this is pretty much GG for the Dire team. Despite the fact that so many kills going the way of the Radiant, the team draft right now is gimping the Radiant team because they haven't capitalized on their strengths. They needed to do it in the early game when people weren't so tanky and Invoker's spells could really actually have a giant impact. That was the strength of their team. That was the solo global kind of gank potential coming out from Faceless Void combined to Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast, and Invoker Sunstrike. And didn't have as big enough impact to stop the Anti-Mage. The Storm Spirit went Yules instead of Orchid, so he didn't keep down the Anti-Mage before he got his Yasha and his Manta Style. And so those are the couple reasons why the Dire is just doing so good right now. Is that...
yeah, it's really looking pretty grim for the Radiant team.
It's looking dire for the Radiant.
It's just... oh, there's a Bristleback dying.
Brocrate's taking all the damage. He doesn't care. There's a Viper Strike. Yule's coming out from the Storm Spirit as well. Broke Rate's taking so much damage. Look how tanky he is. This is taking forever. They're not even worried about using ultimates on him, though. They're just kiting him around. Now Viper's here by himself. Faceless Void almost going down to the Viper. He is doing a lot of damage. He has that Butterfly there as well as the Manta style. And guns damage. Viper is able to get away. Storm Spirit trying to go on an illusion, and that's really it. Now Anti-Mage is in the bot lane. The Skywrath Mage in the mid lane just pushing the tower. Now Anti-Mage is able to take this bottom tower. TP's coming in from Lion. Is this everything? Invoker's here as well. Necro's pop. He's going on the tower. BKB. They can't do anything against this. They're just running away. Guys, what we can do? We can only use magic, but he's anti-magic. There shall be no fun. Fun is the mind killer. I will kill these racks, and that'll be all. He leaves his illusions there to do even more damage to the melee racks. TPs from Viper. He's coming in, but wow, what a bold bots travel. He's here. He's so low mana and low HP. He's got the Aegis, though. That's what he really doesn't worry about. He just wants to focus fire. There's the mana break, doing some good amount of damage, plus the Vortex. He's locking down Anti-Mage. They're bashing him. Is there going to be anything? There's a Chronosphere up in 1 second. It's used. There it is to focus down the Anti-Mage. Now there's no Aegis. There's no nothing. The Viper's dead as well. Skywrath, no, actually the Viper did come back. He just died. Now what can he do? He's getting bashed by the Faceless Void. This is actually going the way of the Radiant, but Faceless Void dies. This Viper is manning up. Look how strong he is. He doesn't care. He's doing so much damage, and the Storm Spirit has to put and pop away. And then, wow, there's the poison attacks. It's killing Invoker, the Ghost Scepters. Now he can focus the racks, but he's going to pretty much buy back. Now, Anti-Mage, he's getting bots. Yep, botsing back. There's the pure damage, plus the Ice Blast is coming. It's going to hit the Viper. No, it's not. He's so fast. It doesn't actually hit him. Storm Spirit getting Viper strikes up, plus the Abyssal Blade or the Electric Vortex or something. That's it. This is going to be the racks. There's only Anti-Mage. Or Faceless, no, it's the Invoker. Why do I say the wrong name sometimes?
Definitely the game.
Yeah, GG comes out from the Radiant team. And a GG it was. It was fun to watch the comeback. The Dire team just capitalizing. Not getting punished, I think, is the main way of saying it. And then, any final notes for you on that game, Rainbow? Anything? Oh, this has never happened. This has never happened. This has never.
No, it was really well played from the Dire. They played to their strengths of just taking it through the mid game, tanking up, getting to that late game, and just being really unkillable.
Totally. That's it. That's one game. That's not the last game we're going to be casting here at Next Level Dota with my new fresh guest co-caster Rainbow here in the RD2L Reddit Dota 2 League here at Next Level Dota. We have more coming, and probably next game will be Ranksius. We'll be back. We'll see. And thanks for watching. So stay tuned to the next game. We're going back into the lobby to look for the next game. Oh shit. Ranksius is not here. Disruptor. Strigor runs. The Stormcrafter comes. The war storm is upon us. I know all the voiceovers, guys. All of it. All right, guys. Well, Rainbow, are you here?
Dire team ban.
Rainbow-sama.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, dude? Alright, I usually
said to reset my mic because it turned off the open.
Oh, gotcha.
10 seconds remaining.
Master ban.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
I really hope we don't have to see a like in this game.
It's looking like it. It's looking like
Oh jeez.
it's happening.
I don't know if I can cast with you anymore.
10 seconds.
Yeah, puns are a thing. I actually didn't have that many puns last game, but I do that. Oh, there it is.
Dire team.
Oh, I'm so happy.
The Radiant weren't liking that idea at all, and now we're gonna see some other. But Doom getting banned every single game. People do not want to play against Doom. It's crazy. I mean, he's a strong offlane, like a super strong offlane. +1 armor, way too much of a buff.
Yeah, too strong. I think Doom's a jerk in the way where he gets to pick one person every game, and that player doesn't get to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. Like a good initiation is just really, really good. And he counters a lot of heroes that in this meta want to like make things happen. And well, he was more prevalent like when Brewmaster was getting picked because like Doom's such a good Doom for Brewmaster. But there's still a lot of I'd say good heroes. And let me I'm gonna start the cast off.
Definitely a big target.
Officially. We're back with RD2L. I just like to practice my intro because apparently casters and hosts have to know their intros, and I don't actually have my own perfect intro yet, but this is what I'm practicing it. So we're here in the RD2L with Reddit Dota 2 League, here with Nex and a guest co-caster, Rainbow. Yeah. So the call to arms has begun, and the heroes are being chosen, Razor being the first pick.
Dire team ban.
Ancient Apparition.
You introduced me a little too flamboyantly.
Oh, did I? Yeah. What do you mean? Like, in what way?
In the flamboyant way.
Like Rainbow? Like that's kind of flamboyant?
Yeah. A little bit.
I try to make it epic.
I guess I deserve that for having a name Rainbow, but
I know.
it is what it is.
I didn't have like a lisp. That would have been a little bit worse or something like that.
Well, I'm glad there's no S's in my name.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't even know how that's possible. Good point. Good counter there. So support,
I'm sure you can figure it out.
Support's being picked up on the Radiant side. I mentioned this last game. If you pick two supports in the like first two picks like this, you're not able to use supports to counter pick the enemy, and supports can do that. They are strong in their early game, and with certain, depends on who you're playing against, but leaving that open is kind of nice. So now they're kind of locked down that these are the supports, unless they, heaven forbid, maybe go like Witch Doctor mid, which is pretty strong, but it's also super punishable. So yeah,
poor Witch Doctor wouldn't be unheard of.
Yeah, it's really
especially in RD2L. It's kind of a common. It always loses.
Dude, you're not wrong though. Witch Doctor
always do it.
Whether or not it's mid, like Witch Doctor gets picked more in RD2L than I've seen like any other place right now. And certainly not in any of the metas, but I think he's definitely a strong hero. But I mean, he can get greedy. He wants to get items, and he's not the best roamer, so like his stun is just not very good unless it's super well timed with like a ranged creep or something. So not the best in that regard, and you need other stuff to lock people down. But Clockwork is actually a good example of that. At least he can create cogs, and maybe the paralyzing cast can jump around in a good way. But the Witch Doctor plus Ancient Apparition combo is still just, I don't know. It's good, but it's not the craziest in terms of being able to provide that global gank support presence, if you agree with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. They should have good tri-lane security, though. Both heroes have a good range, and Chilling Touch just
definitely true.
Destroys anybody.
So true, and if the lanes that they're ganking for have their own type of root or stun, then that's certainly enough to get a kill, and they can certainly still roam with Chilling Touch. But yeah, Vengeful.
It's really interesting to see the Void make it this far.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. It's totally true. Oh, Void is just a strong hero on paper, and he didn't get buffed. I've just been saying that he's just so strong. Like, he can lock down 5 people. He looks at his hands, and he's like, I can create a team fight with just my own abilities. And but Lifestealer being picked up against the Tidehunter, that's always a good pick. Not only does he get HP from Feast, but he's able to rage through the Ravage. And
I'm not sure how I feel about that pickup.
Well, Razor,
because the Razor, yeah, Razor's really strong against Lifestealer.
Totally. And they got a Bane as well to really
nice
lock down the Lifestealer through that rage. It's not looking good for Lifestealer.
It's a really strong pick.
He can get Nether Swap back into Static Link. He can get Nether Swap through Rage into other things. Bane can be there to Fiend's Grip. Tidehunter Ravage can wait until after his Rage is over, and then boom. Yeah, it's not going to be good. But they have the Clockwork for like some good counter initiation or slash like finding good picks. So they do have the Infest Bomb from the Lifestealer Clockwork. And I've always been a big fan of Witch Doctor plus Clockwork because you stop a fight in a place, people will have to stay there, or they leave like one person of their team, just ditch them, and then Witch Doctor Death Ward's able to just rip into people, especially if he gets an Ags, and then it's just so good. But yeah, Faceless Void finally getting banned out.
I think both teams are going to be looking for a mid now, and I'm curious to see what they're going to pick up, because I'm not sure I have the slightest idea right now. Yeah. Maybe a Puck. For the Radiant. Although Cloud played the Storm Spirit last game, if I'm not mistaken, and he may just pick that one again.
Yeah, what's your full name? Rainbow the what?
Zookeeper. I bought like 60 couriers, so I just tagged that up one day.
Nice, dude. I've done that. As soon as I saw like on Reddit, someone like was like in a losing game would just open up a bunch of couriers and just shoot them out, and they're like opening a zoo. It was really, really funny, and I've done that a couple times. Nature's Prophet and Storm Spirit being the last picks. The heroes have been chosen. So I like to do this.
Nature's Prophet might be mid.
Yeah, maybe. You're right about that. Or a mid-clock against the mid-storm. That would be okay, I guess. If you went Mana Burn, you'd be pretty good. And you could actually man up on the Storm Spirit and potentially win
until about level 6.
Yeah. It's true, totally true. I definitely think that's... yeah, we'll see. But who do you think won the draft? And, like, if you had a favorite team and you had to bet money, who do you think, all other things being equal, who would you choose?
I think I'd have to put it to the Dire this game. They have really solid lockdown all around. Their supports are both good roamers. Tidehunter's like quite a good off lane. It looks like they're gonna aggressive tri lane actually.
Yeah.
They're gonna roam to the jungle level 1.
Yeah. So the question is
to interrupt myself.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I do that too. I go off on a tangent. I just forget what I was talking about. The question is Lifestealer going to dodge? But he looks like he's going to the bottom lane. This is going to be bad for the Lifestealer.
Looks like Radiant want to protect their own jungle. It is a mid Prophet. Let's see how that works out. But he's really, really countered by the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, he can just farm up those treants. It'll take a couple Static Remnants, but if he last hits with Static Remnant into the treants, like he'll be able to kill him on a couple renditions, and those treants will have to go. It's not the biggest thing. Like you could just make the treants leave, like, and not get killed by him before they actually get farmed by the Storm Spirit. But that is a strength of Nature's Prophet in a 1v1 scenario, and he's not going to be able to use that strength to its fullest potential.
Yeah, we'll see how that lane works out. I think Storm Spirit's gonna have much better control with his ability to wave clear, unless Prophet is setting his trees to the rune spots every 2 minutes.
And that's pretty easy to do, unless the Storm Spirit tries to go to a lane and wait for the rune at the minute mark. Then like which already he's got a 50% chance of that not working out, and in that scenario the treants that are rune controlling are going to be able to block it. But it looks like the Dire team are throwing a ward into the runes or into the creep spawn place, and they put a sentry there, which I completely agree with. This is really good by the Dire team to block this camp. It's not like the Dire team were really going to worry about that camp being pulled. You only really want to block that camp like 100% when you have a Lich in that lane, because you're pulling the wave and you don't want them to pull it back. But this will allow them to, I don't know, keep the lane like in that presence and not have anything to mess with them. But wow, a hasted ancient apparition coming from behind. He gets blocked up by the witch doctor. He gets, oh wow, the nightmare's there. Oh, he gets stolen by ancient apparition. This is really good. But now they're going to be able to go on this ancient apparition, but they steal it back. Here comes the magic missile. Unfortunately, this scenario doesn't work out in this way. Now this witch doctor is certainly going to be dead. And that's first blood going the way of the Dire. An instant buyback coming out from the witch doctor.
nightmare never ends.
Here comes the bad, crazy laugh from Bane.
Cool. I feel like it was a misclick from the Witch Doctor.
Yeah. Well, either way, it would have been a first blood for Dire because that ancient apparition was going to get gone on regardless. Pretty sure that's
true. a little bit of a ballsy play from the Radiant moving up that far. Yeah,
absolutely. And looking at the mid lane, because the beginning of this game is pretty important for these two sides here. Looks like the CS is pretty much even, and Nature's Prophet is actually doing pretty good about the harassing. The Treants, like I thought, were pretty tanky, and level 1 static is only 140, so these creeps have 550 HP, so it takes quite a few remnants. But on the bot lane, the Magic Missile is on Ancient Apparition. He's almost dead with the Brain Sap, but now the Vengeful Spirit almost gets rooted by the Cold Feet. The Plasma Field isn't able to kill the Ancient Apparition. One last right click. He's not going to find it, though. Maybe he's going to find it. He's Tango's rolling. There's one right click. Oh my god, the Tango saved him. And now the Razor's in really bad position. What's the run speed? 295 versus 295, but there's the Paralyzing Cast. A couple of right clicks from Chilling Touch doing work on the Razor. One more. There's the Plasma Field trying to do something, but there's not going to be open wounds. This is going to be dead unless there's a Magic Missile, which there is not. This is a second blood going the way of the Life Stealer, doing some work. Wow. I don't know.
There's a DD on the Nature's Prophet in mid, so he's going to have really good lane control for now.
Yeah. Did he use teleportation to get that rune? Oh, plus the sprout and the right clicks. He does it. He needs to attack walk a little bit better, but he's gonna have it right here.
Wow, really good play from the Nature's Prophet there.
Yep, that's really freaking awesome to see. I'd say, yeah, I'd say it's not too bad. I don't think the Nature's Prophet's Storm Spirit's very, very good, but certainly Storm Spirit's a squishy mid, really, really squishy, and the attack range from Nature's Prophet's really good.
Yeah, the range advantage for Prophet is really the one thing he'll have going for him in this lane. But with that kill, Nature's Prophet should really control this until Storm Spirit is 6.
Yeah, that's a bottle coming to Nature's Prophet, so he's going to be able to rune control even better. And we haven't touched on the top lane that much. Clock versus Tidehunter, how does this normally work out? I've seen this in the mid, and Clock wins this usually. But what do you think in the top lane here? Let's Tidehunter
with the new Anchor Sash changes, I think it's a Tide favored lane unless the Clockwork gets a couple good mana burns early.
Yeah, I mean, if he leveled Cogs, that'd be one thing, but you never really want to level Cogs over that. Paralyzing Casket's going to jump actually to the creep, unfortunately, but Open Wounds is still there. They're going on the Razor. There's the Static Link doing what it can, but Cold Feet's going to be there even if he got away from the Lifestealer slow, and now that was a lot of damage stolen. Is this Razor? Wow, the Razor's level 2. That is really bad. It's hardcore.
Yeah, they're having a bad time on this tri-lane. I think the support should start roaming and leave the Razor down here. I think they've lost this tri-lane, and I think they need to abandon it. The Clockwork actually almost went down top, and the Nature's Prophet TP'd in to protect him from the Tidehunter.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right. Super close. So Storm Spirit gonna get some space created for him. Nightmare on the bot lane, right onto Witch Doctor. They're pinging it out, but nothing's really gonna come of it. Ancient Apparition manned up a little bit. Plasma Field's gonna do a little bit of damage. He's still only level 2. Storm Spirit, haste pop. He's looking for blood. He's looking to make something happen. He leveled Overload. What is this? What's this fad to level Overload? I'm not entirely sure, but he's gonna find the Ancient Apparition. There it is with the Paralyzing Cast. He's gonna stop him. He's not gonna be able to do anything on this unless he dives in. There's the Strand Remnant. He's going so deep for this. Is Cold Feet gonna land? Oh, it was so close.
Dire's middle tower is
Wow.
under attack.
I think that was a bad rotation from the Storm Spirit because the Nature's Prophet ult had just hit before it and gotten his whole team low on the bottom lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And well, let me just type in chat real quick. And
on the top lane, this Tidehunter's farming really well. He's 22 and 8 compared to the 8 and 1 of the Clockwork. Those Tidehunter's just really, really showing his control in this lane.
Definitely. Yeah, I get this is kind of yeah, I suppose that's true. I just have seen the Clockwork beat Tidehunter a couple times, but that's only if he does make that sacrifice and go power cogs early and just burn all the mana, which you don't want to see. And Nature's Prophet's actually fallen quite a bit behind to the Storm Spirit for a couple reasons. I think he went top to help out in that Lotus CS, and then Storm Spirit was able to take a little bit more control of the lane.
Yeah, that definitely slowed the Prophet down a little bit, but he should be able to keep farming because, well, he's Nature's Prophet.
Yep. Holla holla, get nature.
Engagement on the top.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, this is going to be really close. Storm, this is going to be one last hit for Clockwork. Not even Ravage used for that. He didn't even need it.
Nature's Prophet in mid now.
Storm Spirit going on the Nature's Prophet, and he's going to find him. This Nature's Prophet's getting really hardcore surrounded by the Dire team. The roam from the Bane and Venge, they were up on the high ground, it appeared. And I don't know if a smoke was used for that, but there's still one left in Venge's inventory.
Radiant's top tower is
that was a good rotation. That was a good rotation from the Dire supports. And now they're leaving Razor alone on the bottom, which I think is what they need to do.
Yeah, I just think that Razor can really get punished in this lane too, though. But they're not really focused on zoning him out. They're more focused on getting some XP and gold in the farm, or in the jungle. But
yeah, it's definitely better that they that the supports can try and help their mid catch up and get ahead and sacrifice the Razor a little bit, because Razor just needs that. He just needs that XP to deal damage, because it'll all come from static link.
Yep.
And if the Razor's not in the tri lane, I assume he won't be very aggressive, and so he might not die again.
Yeah, definitely. And so Clockwork killing the Tidehunter in the top lane.
Wow.
He used hookshot. I missed that as well. And that was just a rank 4 battery assault.
Battery assault. Yeah.
Definitely. Tons of damage. What just happened?
Trapped himself on the tower with cogs.
Now Vengeful Spirit's here.
Nature's Prophet's actually opting to jungle now.
Yeah, giving the lane to what appears to be Bane, even though he's not really in lane taking that XP. He's not level 6 yet. In fact, he's only level 3, and Storm Spirit's level 7. This could be really... oh, actually, Bane was on the Dire side. But yeah, no one's taking the Radiant farm right now. The supports, Witch Doctor and Ancient Apparition, choosing to stay bottom. And
I think that's a mistake, and one of them should definitely rotate into mid. Oh, looks like Nature's Prophet's going to go back in now.
Yep. So I guess that was
I think it's going to be hard for Nature's Prophet now.
Yeah. Tidehunter getting... He doesn't have Ravage up because he already used it, but he is in the bot lane now, which is a little surprising. Like he's actually giving the lane to Venge, but without Ravage, he should at least be like stacking Ancients and using his rank 4 Anchor Smash to try to make something of that potential gold. And Bane is in the top lane now as well as the Razor. So Razor, there's no one in the bot lane now. Tidehunter's the only one down here, and he gushes the Witch Doctor right now, and he has enough mana. He has mana boots, but nothing to come of that really. And so I guess a little bit of strange laning coming out from both teams. Nature's Prophet's hopping into the jungle, thinking he can get better use there, and then Venge and Razor and the Bane are top now in a defensive tri-lane against the Clockwork. I guess it's important for Bane to get his levels, but he's not staying in lane. It's more the Venge. It's like they want this swap more than anything. But the Razor took the lane as well.
Yeah. The Bane is pulling though, so he'll get some nice XP off this bird here.
Okay, so Tidehunter went down. His Purge did something, but it wasn't enough against the tri-lane. So far, it looks like the Radiance, despite Nature's Prophet in the mid lane, who did get killed in another part of the map, looks like he got killed mid. I actually missed that as well. But, well, I guess I missed that.
Oh, this could be big. They're going on Clockwork top.
Is there going to be anything? He actually got Nightmare.
Razor made the mistake, took the Nightmare off of the Clockwork.
Yep. No bueno.
Yikes. I guess that's some synergy we haven't talked about, is that the Nightmare along with Static Link. You get quite a lot of damage during the Nightmare duration.
That's true. Very good point. They can initiate with that. There's no way that team wants to fight into that. That'd be danger. Storm Spirit doesn't have a lot of farm for 10 minutes in. He was like topping the charge in CS, but I guess he went double Sage Mask. So yeah, he wanted the mana regen. He went Null as well. I don't know if he started with Null, but he certainly has one now. So it's been a lot of, I don't know, early game items, boots. He went Shreds, so he's not going like mana boots to like go originally or eventually into Bloodstone, which I like to do sometimes, but yeah, it's doing okay, I suppose.
It's good to see that he's rushing the Storm Spirit is rushing the Orchid this game.
Not the Yules.
Last game, the Yules just wasn't effective.
Yeah, that was the second time I saw that Yules in the RD2L on a Storm Spirit. Well, actually, maybe even the third. I was like, what is this? Can't completely agree with this, but in the bot lane, Clockwork's there, Nature's Prophet TPing in. Now they're going to be looking to push the bot tower. The only person here is Tidehunter for the moment, and Bane is rotating in as well.
Radiant's middle tower.
Rabbit is up though, so we could look to see a TP from possibly the Razor. Oh, he doesn't have one.
Yep.
I think the Razor were to pick up a TP there. I think they could have defended and maybe even denied that tower.
Storm Spirit by himself is able to take the mid lane, so in minimum that's a 1-for-1, but actually there's a 4-to-5 blown, and so he's going to stick around for the moment, but Hookshot is there. Is there actually going to go on this? He's trying to bait out the jump from the Storm Spirit, and then he's going to Hookshot away. There it is. Does he have much mana?
Nice.
Wow, the battery is still doing so much damage. Pro play from the Clockwork, making sure not to use the hookshot to originally initiate. Now in the bot lane, Bane's getting Ice Blast. Nature's Prophet's TPing in, but he cancels it because there is not enough right now. He does come in. That is a kill on Bane.
Oh, they are going to go for it.
The Sprout is here as well. Is there going to be an open wound? It's up in 5 seconds. Is there going to be an Ice Blast? He actually already used it. Ravage being used to actually save himself, and he's still going to get away with that. So at least he lives, but that is a Ravage blown, and now the Dire team looking to push top tier 1, but their tier 2 is going
if this
down.
Tide walks back up here, he's going to die. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was really close. There was a Sprout. That would have been really bad. Now they're TPing the Dire team. It's this
TP
time
from
to
the
Storm Spirit.
Pretty
He's going to
aggressive.
zips up. He's going to Cosby onto the Witch Doctor, and there's the Vortex to follow, and the burst damage. It's an easy pick coming out from the Dire. But that's, at least they saved their tier 2, but look how low it is. And they did get the tier 1 top, so it's not the worst trade for the Dire team.
Deniable tower now. Deny it.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
So let's
This
see.
Razor actually picks up a Midas.
Wow.
Yikes.
Wow.
I think if the Razor just went for a mechanism instead, and he would almost have power treads by now, I think that would have been a lot better for the pressure they're under.
It's going to take so long for this Midas to pay off, and in the meanwhile, Lifestealer doesn't go Midas. He goes Armlet and Mordigian, and so he's going to look to fight early with that Clockwork. They're going to force fights with the Infest Bomb, with the Armlet, and this could be really bad. They have a Nature's Prophet who can split push and push towers easily after those team fights happen, so if Radiant really man up right now and take towers, they could be really bad for the Dire.
Yep, and the Ancient Apparitions just picked up an Urn and his ultimate. Oh, he's actually got level 7. The Ancient Apparition is like ready to fight. The Witch Doctor, unfortunately, is still level 5 on the Radiant.
Indeed.
As well as the Bane.
Wow. 13 minutes in. It always feels bad to be a support, not have your 13 minutes in. Their lanes haven't gave the opportunity to maximize farm on the supports. The tri-lane on the Dire not working out so well, rotating to the top, still having to get XP in the shadow of the Razor, who was wanting to farm top lane. Not a lot of pulls happening. Doing a little
looks like they're farming bottom a bit.
Sounds like you're moving your microphone or something a lot.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I was just wondering what you're doing. Storm Spirit on the top lane, getting going on the Nature's Prophet as well as the Storm's Blast was there to hit the Storm Spirit, but it wasn't enough. Ancient Apparition still here farming. This is where the Radiant team can be active, but they're not looking for those picks. Clockwork's the main initiator. Maybe they're grouping up to infest right here. Is that what they're looking to do? Yes, indeed. This is what I was mentioning, and hopefully they're able to find something out of this. The question is, what kind of wards do they have? They don't have a lot of ward vision in terms of being able to aggressively find anyone. The Bane is right here, but they don't know it right now. There's the Rocket Flare. Is he going to be used? Yes. Oh, and it's the Ancients. Oh.
Nice Ancient pull from the Bane. I'm not sure it was on purpose, but it was really unfortunate for the Radiant team.
I mean, that might have been on purpose because that Dire ward is right here. They spotted out that Clockwork. That could have been really awesome. I'm going to just say that it is, and props to the Soul Man for a legit thing, but wow, look at this Nature's Prophet, able to get the easiest kill of his life.
A really cheeky play from Nature's Prophet there.
Yep, hella cheeky. So much cheek. And a pause coming out from the team. I'm going to take this opportunity to go to the restroom because there's a DC, so I'll be right back.
Sure, take your time. I guess I'll just go through items and see how everybody's progressing so far. The Razor's picked up Treads and an Aquila after he's picked up his Midas, so he's starting to catch up a little bit. I still don't agree with the Midas pickup though. Ancient Apparition, secretly sapping some XP top, hiding in the trees there. He's picked up an Urn and Brown Boots. He'll probably look to start up an Aghanim Scepter. Witch Doctor is sitting on Arcane Boots and a TP. He's 60 XP to level 6, so he'll be looking to find that somewhere, hopefully really soon. Storm Spirit has one of his Oblivion Staves. It's going to be a bit of a late Orchid, but better late than never, and after he picks that up, he should be able to deal with the Nature's Prophet by himself. and maybe even pick off the supports. That'll be really strong for him. Venge's opted for phase boots this game. She's sitting on phase and a smoke, level 6. Maxing stun, I guess. I think that's definitely good.
And I'm back.
Nature's Prophet. Phase boots Maelstrom. Looks like Nature's Prophet wants to just split push a lot. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I was just covering all the items and progression that people are going through.
Yeah, I actually have wireless headphones, so I was able to listen in. And I was going to note that is there a mechanism carrier on the Radiant team? Because
on the Radiant team,
they want to fight.
There is no mech up yet.
Yeah, and like no one's looking to build it. That was like the main thing that I heard. And I was like, oh yeah, he wants to go that Agnams. But the thing is, like, they could really punish the Dire right now. And if they had a mech and the Dire doesn't, since even more clearly Razor isn't going that mech, that could be huge.
Yeah, I think it would have been a good pickup for the mid Nature's Prophet to grab a mech pretty early. Because he definitely had the farm to do it.
Oh, well, but wow, so Razor goes down, but I didn't actually think there was going to be more. There was the Ravage used, as well as Storm Spirit going down to killing the Nature's Prophet, but the Death Ward's doing tons of damage. Does a good amount of damage, but the Witch Doctor does go down after that, and Tidehunter's looking to run from the Lifestealer, but he's going to curl around and get killed right now. And now on the backlines, Clockwork gets a kill, appears on Storm Spirit, as the Fiend's Grip on the Lifestealer gets in tower range and gets a kill on the Lifestealer. So just a cluster of a bunch of kills happening in different places, everyone using their abilities, and the Radiant going down a little bit more than the Dire. The support's living.
Yeah, looking at the XP and gold graphs, it looks like it was a little better for the Radiant that trade. But still, that was a pretty crazy fight. I think 7 or 8 deaths there.
Yeah.
And definitely. All the cores other than Clockwork going down.
Definitely true. And so... yeah, it's I think that, you know, if they both don't go mech, then it's a wash, but that's the thing about someone getting mech is, like, if the Radiant team gets mech actually mid, there's some action. Ice Blast is going to hit the Bane, which cancels the TP, and the Witch Doctor doing a little bit more damage, but that Bane isn't going to go down with just that debuff. Witch Doctor going down to the tower hits, plus the Gush, doing so much damage, plus the Anchor Smash as well. Storm Spirits here into Electric Vortex right off the bat, and a combo right on the Ancient Apparition finishes him off. Nature's Prophet's the only one who's left here alone, and a Blink Dagger get purchased on the Tidehunter.
That's a nice blink timing for the Tide. It's not the fastest in the world for a safe lane farm, but he did end up switching, and he's been roaming around a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So that was like what I was going to say is, if the aggressive team gets a mech, then it's you like on the team that is getting aggressed on, you want a mech as well. You want to counteract that, because if you're being fought, you want that mech so bad. So it's like one of those like easy giant impact items that can mean a lot if you can force 5v5s and use the mech. That's so much effective HP. And I don't see it. I see it getting overlooked sometimes, unfortunately. Especially like I originally said, when you pick two greedy supports that want to kind of do something. Witch Doctor isn't going anything greedy, but he still like is capable of being greedy. And well, he's a 5-roll, so he's only getting wards. But Ancient Apparition, like he hasn't built anything towards his Ags, like you said. But yeah, I don't know. I guess they're just so underfarmed that neither of them can even work towards that mech. And that goes back on what Rankshus and I was saying, is like it makes so much more sense to have a core build a mech, because you get tank ability out of it, and you can actually get the mech early rather than having to wait for a 4 or a 5 roll to build it.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good to pick those cores that can just build the mech and really benefit from it. It's probably the best.
But the Ravage cancels the Death Ward, which was going to do a lot of damage, but Witch Doctor almost gets dead. But now the Bane ult's on the Grit. Oh wow, the Fiend's Grip was on Lifestealer, but it gets canceled by the hook shot, which came in. And it's going to kill Bane, but actually Nightmare is on the Clockwork, but he actually is able to get the Bane first. Storm Spirit going ham on everyone. The Radiant actually dying so much here. The Dire was able to ravage. Storm Spirit burnt all his mana and showed that fresh Orchid in that fight. Wow.
Yeah, that was a really good ravage from the Tide. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah. It was a good initiation of the Witch Doctor was like ulting, and then there was the Ravage, and that was really bad for the Radiant team.
Middle tower is under attack.
Because besides that Ravage, there's not much that can cancel it besides the Orchid, and who knows who the Storm Spirit chose as his Orchid target if Witch Doctor was still death warding. But yeah, finding the initiation. That's why.
Storm Spirit is actually moving towards a going for the Bloodstone now.
Okay, there it is. So he's going power treads, or he did go power treads, so he's not going to have that mana boots there to help him out a little bit, but he is building it. And it's going to be pretty far away. Which, oh wow, Nightmare coming out from the Bane onto the Nature's Prophet. The Nature's Prophet was going on him. Is there going to be a hook shot? No, it's in 40 seconds. I don't know if it missed. It must have just missed earlier.
He'd thrown it at the Storm Spirit earlier when they were chasing him down.
Okay, got it. Well, Radiant are, despite the fact that we were talking about they weren't aggressive, but then they got aggressive. Wow, Bane trying to counter ward this, but now he's got to run. Ice Blast is going to be on the mark on the back line. Storm Spirit's going on the Ancient Apparition. Wow, the Bane does go down after the Ice Blast too. The Death Ward finishes the job, but that's two going the way of the Dire and Recompense. Ancient Apparition and Witch Doctor. And an invisibility rune bottled by the Storm Spirit. Oh wow, where did I completely missed this. Looks like Clockwork in the bot lane was able to go on Razor. Interesting. Level 2 ult and Blade Mail is up.
Blade Mail pickup is actually really scary now.
Spirit comboing the clock. He can't get out of this. And that, wow, another kill going the way.
That's a lot of gold.
Yeah. Damn, I did not know he was on that much of a killing streak. So, given like the late game, given that this Midas is being purchased on the Razor, and despite the fact that he gets killed, and despite the fact that the Midas is not on cooldown right now, what is the late game for the Dire? Who has late game? Let's see. Nature's Prophet's going to really turn into a guy that can team fight. I think he's going Shadowblade. It's kind of a weird build. I think it's Maelstrom and Shadowblade. And wow, he sprouts himself and he's able to get away. But that's Maelstrom can push the wave and Shadowblade can help get away and like escape during the split push and just be that rat that gets away. But I don't know. Like Shadowblade's pretty counterable if you don't have like. So like every time I've seen Shadowblade, I've seen like right click, like Desolator, like I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna get crazy right click items, and yeah, and then if you come to contest me 1v1, I'm gonna kill you. And Maelstrom is okay for that, sort of. It's more of like I don't know, it's more of like a wave push kind of a thing, but it depends. I see. I'm not really sure exactly how this Nature's Prophet is going to have an impact, like how he's gonna choose to fight. Ooh, almost Sprout on the Razor, but no. He's by himself.
Oh, looks like Venge is coming in, and he dust.
Yeah.
There's a Mask of Madness on the Vengeful Spirit.
Wow. Phased into Mask of Madness. Huh. Bot lane, there's the Infest, and the Tidehunter going down, and Death Ward being popped to try to kill the Bane, and they do get that. That's 2 kills going the way of the Radiant. I think that was, once again, a hook shot with an Infest into kills. Clockwork doing so much work. This is why I don't see why Clockwork doesn't get chosen that often. He's such a strong off lane. Oh, in the bot lane, or in the top lane, Nature's Prophet goes down to the Razor. Eye of the Storm popped. Ancient Apparition tries to TP to help him out, but it's not going to find it. And the rest of the Radiant team is going to rush, it appears, as the Dire team pushes tier 2 on the top lane. Oh, there's a big level 2 swap coming on the Ancient Apparition, and they got to kill on that as well.
I see that Mask of Madness coming into effect there.
Yeah.
The initiation speed. It's an interesting way to do it. I think a Blink Dagger or a Force would be more effective, but
yeah,
to each their own, I guess.
This may scale better in the late game, despite the fact that, I mean, Mask of Madness is literally madness. 30% extra damage on you, and it's not like Venge is very tanky to begin with. But they're actually going to back...
Seeing the Radiant back out of Roshan.
Yeah, I'm just looking at chat. Ooh, there's a clock hook onto the Bane, and he gets comboed. Blade Mail popped. He does get Nightmare. He's trying to get out of here, and there's the kill on the Bane, though. Battery Assault not being stopped by the Nightmare.
I'll talk your ears.
But, wow, something being used on the Storm Spirit illusion. And now Sanj and Yasha's on
I thought it was a ward the way it was facing.
Yeah. And pinged out for Roshan. The Dire know that the Radiant did leave, and they're no longer doing Roshan. But Dire is continuing to farm. This is kind of what they want to do based on what they've chosen. Them, like Midas being bought, and the Ags almost being finished up by the Razor. And the Vengeful Spirit going Phase, Mask of Madness, and who knows what else. Yeah.
I guess this Venge might transition herself into a carry, and we'll see if that's effective or not.
Getting gone in the bottom rune by this Storm Spirit. Oh. Very easy kill. Ward spotting it out.
Nice eyes.
Yeah. And let's see. So
Ancient Apparitions found one piece of his egg so far. Not making too much progress, but he's getting there.
Yeah. And see, this is what I was saying. Witch Doctor is going Point Booster as well. And it's getting late enough where that will be really good. But wow, the Shadow Blade didn't even matter. Storm Spirit rolled the hook in from the Clockwork plus the Infest is there, but he's put out of the cogs. Now there's the Bane's Grip onto the lifesteal. The Bane's running away though. There's the Ravage, not in time though. The Bane goes down, TP away from Storm Spirit. They're looking to disengage, but the Tidehunter's still fighting. Wow, getting a kill on Lifestealer. That was huge damage coming out from the Razor. Wow. That 84 damage was stolen, and Deathward's trying to do as much as he can, but his tanky Razor's so tanky with that point booster as well. And Ancient Apparition's so close that they're going to be a swap that's already used, so he might get away from this. We'll see. The slow from the Frost Vortex? Ice Vortex. Oh wow, he's actually going to man up on the Vengeful Spirit. He tries to do... He's so close. He wants it to... Wow, that was close. And the Urn might finish her up, and it will. Boom.
Oh, definitely.
Die cessation.
That's a full team wipe against the Radiant though. Been a really big turnaround for the Dire. Yeah. They've actually come back 3,500 gold. It's not the biggest deficit they were in, but they're ahead by 2k now and slowly climbing.
Wow.
Actually, see a big difference in the XP graph actually, almost 10,000.
Yeah, the Midases and the kills have been in their favor. It looks like Radiant dying.
Wow, actually it just updated. They're 13,000 XP ahead.
Damn. Looking at the net graph, or net worth, Storm Spirit and Razor by far the most amount of money. Storm Spirit is getting his... Actually, he's going Lincoln's, it looks like, against the... I guess... I don't really even know, like, some of the big moves coming out from the Radiant. I don't know what he's trying to avoid. Maybe it's like the Scythe or some Orchid coming out from one of them eventually. But,
yeah, it's not there yet, and I think Storm Spirit could be going for a Scythe here instead, and being more aggressive and getting more kills.
Yeah, casual Perseverance might be a thing. We will see. Wow, he'll be happy to get that regen rune that just spawned there, and there's a sentry. Oh, he has a gem. I didn't actually notice that. So a gem being picked up by the Storm Spirit, and that's for the Nature's Prophet, which is really important because Storm Spirit, I've said this before, Storm Spirit and Nyx Assassin are really good with dealing with Tinker and Nature's Prophet because they can just, in their own ways, but Storm Spirit even more so can just launch into the lane, and that the whole point of, oh, I'm going to show myself in this lane as Storm Spirit, or not Storm Spirit, but Nature's Prophet. I'm going to push this lane, I'm going to show my face, and I'm going to run out before you even get here. Storm Spirit can break all those rules and get there instantly, and so that gem is able to make it so that no matter what, it's a secured kill, and Storm Spirit can start farming Nature's Prophet in those lanes. And so that's definitely a good thing, and plus he's just survivable, and he can de-ward and good stuff like that. He could put it in the base, grab Dusk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There.
That's pretty much it. But what else is to be said? Yeah, Ancient Apparition's far away from that Ags. And that was what I was worried about because Lifesteal didn't go Midas. So when you have supports that want to build big items, they're not contributing. You don't want to fight in the mid game. Wow, Storm Spirit going so deep. He's so far away from his team. He has the gem. Is he actually going to throw it with this? There's the Lincoln's pop, but he's got the ult pop. He's low HP. Is he going to shatter? It's going to be so close. There it is. The gem's on the floor, but Deathward Ravage comes in from Tidehunter. It stops them in their place, and now Razor on the backline is fighting so hard. He kills the Clockwork. He kills the Nature's Prophet. There's the Witch Doctor dead as well. Razor doing so much work in
this.
these
Venge is actually looking towards the Sanjin Yasha, it looks like.
Yep.
And so she will be going full carry, I think.
Definitely. And hopefully that gem was picked up. It looks like it was by the...
It's on the Bane.
Yeah, Bane currently. And that's Ravage expended, and Tidehunter, of course, is going that Refresher Orb. It's going to be a while, though. A little bit. Still a ways off, and
yeah, he's about he's a little over halfway actually. He's got 1,300 gold, maybe maybe 2,000 to go almost.
Definitely
1,500-ish.
And now with that Ags from Razor, they can really start pushing towers even better and team fight even stronger. This is so bad for the Radiant. This is just classic, like, you have to choose a mode for your team, and you have to, once you choose that mode, you have to play as that mode states. You have to capitalize on your strength. Choose a strength and then use it. And the Radiant had such a good strength early. They had really good lanes, really good ganks. Lifestealer with a good fat amount of items in the beginning of the game. Didn't go Midas. And that's when you gotta fight. Even if you don't go mech, you fight. Yeah. You choose the battles. You keep them on the back foot with the amazing clock initiations, and they've actually done that. They've had a lot of really good clock initiations, but I think that he's the only one really having that impact. And I sort of blame the supports. Me being a person who plays a lot of supports. I don't know if it was the decision of the team or decision of them, but they certainly have had a bigger impact if they did something differently. The Dire team waiting next to the Rosh pit. The Radiant is taking the Rosh unbeknownst to the Dire right now. The smoke wasn't even spotted out by a ward because there is no ward here. Well, not spotted out by a ward, but didn't even get really used. The Dire has no map vision at the moment, and that's a Rosh.
This is going to be a big pickup.
Yeah. This is good. Hopefully this will emphasize them to start fighting a little bit more and salvage the game while they can. Clockwork, where is he? He was in the Rosh pit. He used his flare to scout a little bit and didn't find anyone. Ancient Apparition was farming the top lane.
1,000 experience.
Ah, that is crazy high. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the graphs are really starting to spike in favor of the Dire. They're up 7,500 gold now as well.
Yeah. Wow, this was looking really bad for
And
the
the
Dire.
refresher's up on the Razor, and one last hit for the Tidehunter for his refresher.
Wow. Oh, on the top lane, looks like Storm Spirit's going on the Nature's Prophet. We talked about it. That Storm Spirit's so good against going against him. And the gem is back on the Storm Spirit.
And the Storm Spirit actually pierces his boots of travel after his Lincoln Sphere.
Wow. Yeah. I wasn't going to say that the Lincoln Sphere is the best item, and then, like, we saw it not even get popped until late in the game, like a paralyzing cask is what, like, came in, but, well, he's still doing all amazing, and still doing work, despite that fact. The Orchid is really good. Yeah, we'll see what he builds later, but see, wow, this is looking so good for the Dire. Like, obviously the XP graph's in their way, but it's mainly because they didn't get punished for farming. They kept farming, and now the Venge is a Sanj and Yasha completely built. And they just got so much XP and gold out of that. Force Staff on Bane is really huge too, because they're able to disengage from cogs now. It's such a big item pickup. Light show is on. What does that mean? So the refresher orb's up from Tidehunter now, like you said, and they're looking to push. Double Ravage is online. Green for launch. Storm Spirit has such good mana regen. Oh my goodness. Oh, swap over on the side. Venge is kind of by herself right now. She's trying to escape. The swap was not exactly what was needed. I think maybe she got caught out and was trying to swap away. I'm not entirely sure, but Hookshot is online once again, and now they're going on Dendem. Storm Spirit almost gets killed, but he actually is able to get away. Ravage is there. Unfortunately, Storm Spirit's gone, but now it's the refresher from both these guys. It's the double Ravage. It's the double Eye of the Storm completely popped. They can't fight into this. They're just getting melted. If Ensphere goes back in on this, he's going to try to kill the Razor, and he gets him. Surprisingly, despite all that damage, there's no follow-up, and now the Nightmare's on Cloud instead of top. Ancient Apparition gonna get bursted down here by the Dire team, and the Ravage in the end was too strong. The Eye of the Storm taking down too many people before the Lifestealer was able to come back in and kill the Razor after he rezzed from the Aegis.
That was a pretty good fight for the Dire. I'm not sure they needed to blow the second Ravage right away though. I think he could have held it and maybe had more impact with it, but still they had a really good trade, 2 for 4, and the Aegis on Lifestealer as well.
Yeah, that's it's totally possible. I think that's also true for sure. Now they can't really, Dire can't push in so much right now. It wasn't as much as a convincing fight as they wanted to. Once again, because of that Aegis, they might have definitely been able to push high ground if Lifestealer hadn't had that Aegis. But Storm Spirit TPing away.
They'll take the tier 2 top, and I think they're happy with that.
Yeah, always feels good.
This refresher was just completed on Tide, and he's already got 2,500 gold.
Wow. That's crazy. Swap onto the Lifestealer. This is just a Venge and a Tidehunter here, and Tidehunter's getting eaten by the Feast. It's so much damage right now, and the Hookshot comes in as well. Traps him in place. The Venge going down right there on the back lines, and now Tidehunter to follow, out of position. You're still playing against a Clockwork that has had a lot of kills, and who does have an Agnum Scepter and a Blade Mail. And, yeah, that threat's there.
Yeah, they got a little over aggressive there. I guess I forgot that that the whole Radiant team respawned.
Yep, top Keck indeed. Storm Spirit pushing the bottom lane as the Radiant are going to get this tier 2 pretty convincingly. Our team is not ready for this. They're kind of just, well, they couldn't defend it anyways, so they're just doing what they can. Storm Spirit being smart, pushing the bot tower. We'll see how much damage he can get on it, but this mid tower is already dead. Rip in peace tower. And Radiant could maybe try to force out a buyback or something. It's not like Ravage is up. It will be up in 10 seconds. So maybe they can get some damage on this tower before they leave. There's no chase right now on the Dire team. Storm Spirit did actually bots back, so he's here now. Storm Spirit might be able to jump in on this. There's a TP from Venge. It's 4v5 here. Tidehunter not up yet, but the Radiant choose the cautions the better side of Valor, and they back up. Let's see what the Radiant do. There's
smoke up from the Radiant. I think that was spotted.
Yeah. And or they're just going to go back to farming anyways. This Clockwork's in the bot lane. Going to be doing what he can.
Have a wasted smoke there. That's a shame. They could have. They might have been able to turn around and make something happen.
Turn the beat around. Give him the Mexican wheel as drawn on the map. So he's good. The Mexican wheel is pretty powerful. But they didn't opt to employ that strategy. Storm Spirit using a lot of mana to jump into the jungle. What's the item update? Ancient Apparition? Halfway there. Witch Doctor? Halfway there. And Lifestealer still only has... he got a Basher pretty much since the last time we saw him.
And that's Storm Spirit.
Yeah. Storm Spirits.
Uses his entire mana pool to zip onto the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah. Alright. Razor, Refresher, nothing more. 3,000 gold in the bank. What's Tidehunter going? The Shivas.
Oh, their courier got picked off.
Oh, did that so?
How did that happen?
Yeah, right. I didn't see the little notification. Personally.
Yeah, I missed that too.
So the question is, who's looking up to group up and push? The Radiant's always got to feel bad about their initiation, but if they surprise the Dire and group up more than they're grouped up, then they might be able to get some picks. Then Festbomb is there, and they have the initiation potential. And the Dire was pretty grouped up all the way up until this point. Now the Dire's pretty grouped up in this area. Tidehunter's still not there. And so that's one option in their arsenal, but they're still playing it pretty safe, pretty scared. This is where, when I'm on the Radiant team, I usually go, all right, let's get a smoke together. Let's group together and push something. Surprise them. Find them in an area that they don't see us, that they're surprised to see us. And do it in a weird route. Choose high grounds, that kind of thing. And look for an awesome initiation, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the double Ravage might be what's holding them off from wanting to do something like that, and both teams might be waiting on the next Roshan, which could be up anytime from 1 to 5 minutes, I guess.
That's true, but like one of the things about Black Hole and Ravage is like even with a Refresher, the time is really, really large, and you can fight in between that. And there was a good amount of gap of time where Tidehunter was just farming for that reason. He knew he didn't have his ultimate. Wow, Storm Spirit almost found the Witch Doctor there, very, very close. And now the Storm Spirit's going to see him right there. He's going to go on this. The Dire going on the tower instead. Static Remnant showing the vision. And there's no initiation from the Radiant. Is there going to be a Clockwork hook? He's looking for it, but instead the Storm Spirit goes on the Ancient Apparition. This is really bad. There's the Flare. Is there going to be a swap? Magic Missile on the Witch Doctor. Nature's Prophet's going down. He's way out of position. The hook shot is off the mark. Is he going to actually hook anything? There's no light good in Fest Bomb whatsoever. Fiend's Grip on the Clockwork. Ravage is in there as well. He's there to lock down the Lifestealer who raged right through the Ravage. Is there going to be a second one? They don't really need it right now. And the Lifestealer all by himself, and Rage is over with. Death Ward at least getting a kill and doing some damage, but that's no Agnum Scepter, so not going to be there. The initiation was on the Dyers, and they couldn't find a good initiation. And like I said, the Radiant, they were looking for a fight. The Dire like knew the fight was going to happen there, and yeah, that's really what it comes down to. The graph is obviously out of control. It's 12,000 gold lead, 25,000, double that in XP. And wow, Vengeful Spirit doing some good amount of damage, doing 190 damage with that amount of right click. Like, that's pretty fast. That's pretty good. Doing some good damage.
Yeah, the Venge is doing some deeps now.
Deeps. Deeps.
Roshan looking like it's going to spawn in 1.5 minutes. I'm not too familiar with the clock yet because I don't spectate too many games.
If it doesn't have a red aura after the yellow mark, then that means it is indeed on the second phase of the clock, which means the time has been revealed and that marker is 1.5 minutes from actually spawning.
There it is. 1.5, I was close.
Yep, yeah, you nailed it. 1.5. Yeah, it's like before that it'll show the minutes and then a red marker for the...
I gotcha.
Yeah. So this Nature's Prophet hasn't had the biggest impact I've ever seen a Nature's Prophet have. I think Nature's Prophet's an OP hero, but what makes him OP is how Admiral Bulldog plays him. He can get crazy farm, so that's one thing. He didn't get crazy farm because he didn't have the best mid lane on the planet. But on top of that, he's able to teleport, which is a broken ability. On a 20-second cooldown, he can split push, get towers in the early game too. And that's mainly where his strengths lie, and then turn into a crazy right-click carry. And right now he's got a Sheep Stick, that's true, and a Shadow Blade. But yeah, I don't think the biggest impact. He's helping keep lanes pushed. Now mid lane looks like Tidehunter was getting. He's doing some action. Death Ward was there. Now the Sprout's there to trap him in place. This is a killed Tidehunter, and this is a time to push because Tidehunter does not have buyback. Are the Radiant looking to do it? They got Hookshot. They're grouped up. Storm Spirit in the bottom lane and Razor in the top. They're pushing up right up mid lane. Here's the Warpath. Go! Yeah.
Razor actually looking to pick up a heart next.
Oh, if Clockwork can find, but he actually didn't have the vision.
Attempt on the hook.
And he, but it's not a big deal. Only a 12-second cooldown on Hookshot, and that would have been a good initiation.
Oh, Venge just bought out. Ooh. She spent all her gold.
Yeah. She now has a Maelstrom. Interesting. Okay, so Radiant's here. Now this Venge is really caught out. Wow, pinged out by someone. I think it was by the Razor or something. Razor saying, hey, go over there, man. We need you high ground. And now TPs come out from Razor, and the tower's getting pushed a little bit. And the Hookshot's once again off the mark, unfortunately for the Radiant, but they're pushing the tower. There is, oh wow, there's life still. Just trying to say, hey, I'm getting out of here. There's no initiation. I'm just going to hit this tower. Fortify being used by the Radiant. This is it. Can the Dire get anything? There's the Nightmare and the Fiend's Grip on the Lifestealer, but it was stolen, I think, by, somehow the Nightmare was stolen by someone. Yeah, it was on the backline. Cloud took the Nightmare, and now the Clockwork's going really deep with the Storm Spirit. It's completely split. The teams have gone in both directions, and the Lifestealer's dead. Tidehunter's going to come back in just a second. Ancient Apparition getting blown up. The Dire are looking really good from this. They don't even need Lifestealer. WTF, says the Clockwork as he missed 2 hookshots. And wow, that was wow. The Razor, I think, did the most damage there. Storm Spirit did certainly a lot of burst damage with the Orchid.
Yeah, that double Eye of the Storm really puts out damage.
Yeah.
It puts it out fast.
Tidehunter getting the Witch Doctor, trying to TP out. Wow. Yeah, that was such a good initiation. That was so good for the Radiant. They were so close. If they had gotten any of those good initiations. Did you actually cast with your voice? Yeah, I'm just looking at chat. Wow. That was a good initiation from Bane. He got a pretty good Fiend's Grip on the Lifestealer for a while there. The Clockwork was able to get out because of the good on the Ancient Apparition to take the Nightmare. So it was almost looking really good for the Radiant. Oh wow, a Courier got killed. Let's see if it works. No, it's not actually showing me the location by clicking on this window, unfortunately. I thought that was a functionality, but I guess not.
I think you can select the team and use your Courier hotkey to find it, but I don't have my Courier hotkey set on this computer.
Oh no. For some reason double tap doesn't even work for me to select the hero, but we'll see later. Wow, Paralyzing Cast is jumping on 2. It's so much. Now the Orchid or the Hookshot right onto the Razor as the Venge dies on the background as well. It's both the supports and a completely locked down Razor. What a great Hookshot and what a great Paralyzing Cast to initiate that. That is the true potential of Paralyzing Cast. It's essentially as good as a perfectly timed Shackle Shot. And Hookshot off the mark, trying to catch up to the Nature's Prophet, but couldn't even do it. This is the and Tidehunter is able to get away. That's so cool. I'm glad I know how to do the stats. It's F10. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, I'm just gonna abuse the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Aghanims. Aghanims up on Witch Doctor and Ancient Apparition now.
Ooh, lifeblood coursing through the veins of the Radiant team. This is it.
This Witch Doctor's had some good ults, and if those ults had the Aghanim Scepters, Radiant probably would have already won this game. But now this Witch Doctor can look to position himself away from the Tidehunter and potentially kill the entire Dire team.
Absolutely. And is this Storm Spirit going Assault Cuirass? Yeah, Assault Cuirass for Storm Spirit.
It looks like he is, yeah. It's a
it's not a bad choice for the physical damage coming out from Razor, the armor reduct from the aura, and, well, just armor is good in general. If someone's not going to get it, sounds not too bad for Storm Spirit, who actually turns someone into a good right-click type of person in the late game. Clock TPing back. They're all TPing back. In fact, to the bot lane. They do have a Rax down, and that's not to be forgotten. This certainly has to be dealt with. And this is gonna be tough for the Radiant. They want to find that good fight. Venge swap on the Ancient Apparition. This is gonna be a kill going the way of the Dire team. They're feeling pretty good about that. Their lanes are pushed. I swear to God, man. Venge was super greedy, I'd say. But this is where it pays off. Then you have only yourself to blame, Radiant, for this Venge getting this farmed. You had the chance.
They're gonna go mid.
Yeah, Storm Spirit's TPing back. But he's actually gonna go on Nature's Prophet. He has the gem. There's no way this Nature's Prophet can get away from this. That's a dead Nature's Prophet.
That was really greedy of Cloud to TP there and try and stop the. Oh, I found the courier.
Oh, nice.
Found the courier. Little dead mushroom in the woods.
Yep. Don't eat that mushroom. It's a toadstool. It'll poison you. It's actually just a corpse of a courier. Yeah, Dire looking to go high ground. This is it, guys. Here's the line. Boom. They cross this line. It's war time. And indeed it is. Eye of the Storm ×2 is pop. Ravage ×2 is on the mark. It's on the menu. The hookshot comes in with the BKB. He doesn't want to use the Ravage yet, but he dies before he can use anything. Death Ward's there. It's doing some damage, but Eye of the Storm's completely prioritizing the hero. The Abyssal Blade on the Razor does something, but Nightmare gets taken away by someone else, and now Razor's getting dead, but the Eye of the Storm does so much damage, plus the pure damage from the Brain Sap. Oh, this Razor's almost dead. He doesn't have the Aegis at all, but that's 4 dead for the Dire's 3, and that was all without the Storm Spirit, who was farming top.
And there were no Ravages used either.
Oh my God. You know, it's like you don't want to you want to use it, right? You should have used it because it would have hit some of the supports in the background, but when you see BKBs and you're stuck in cogs like that, you don't want to use it, but at least maybe use one of them, you know? Metal Man. But buyback from Clockwork, he's looking to go on this Storm Spirit, but there's no threat here. Storm Spirit's going to be just fine. Bane, on the other hand, though, that's someone who needs to be looking danger. If he flares, he actually already used flare. He should be looking
dead. Oh, nice
wow.
force.
Wow. Now it's the Storm Spirit who's going on the Nature's Prophet. Now the Nature's Prophet's in trouble. He's going to go down. This is the type. Wow. But here comes the hookshot now. It's the Storm Spirit's actually able to get out completely fine. The Storm Spirit, Nature's Prophet's dead, and the Storm Spirit's going to get away. Nightmare on the Clockwork.
Tower is under attack.
Storm Spirit's such a good Nature's Prophet hunter. It's amazing.
There it goes.
Yeah, definitely one of the best. Just being able to initiate from so far away, and now that now he's got the Scythe and the Orchid.
Yeah, tons and tons and tons. Now this Vengeful Spirit's gonna get that BKB. She's gonna be even more of a force. God, the Dire couldn't have asked for. Well, I guess the Radiant couldn't have asked for a better engagement in the mid lane. They didn't get a Ravage's pop. They didn't have Storm Spirit, but they lost that many people. We'll see how the next fight goes. Roshan is indeed up. This will be the second Roshan.
Yeah, I think the Dire are going to look to take that now.
Yep, and now the Ice Blast is going to spot it out about the same time that Tidehunter does. Pinging it out, Witch Doctor.
There's a double damage on bottom, and that could really speed up someone's Roshan.
Yeah. Definitely. And this wasn't spotted out by the Dire team. They don't know the smoke is here. It's 3 people here. Ancient Apparition sticking back to defend the base. And Nature's Prophet is indeed dead.
There's no vision up for either team.
Yeah, finally one observer right there. Wow, big jump from Storm Spirit right onto the Ancient Apparition, who was by himself. The Radiant team was smoked up, and they were actually looking to go back and save their Ancient Apparition. But Nature's Prophet is here, and wow, the hookshot's barely off the mark. Nature's Prophet's going to go down to the Storm Spirit, but the Sheep Stick's there. Can he actually get out of here? The Sprout, he has no vision. Ball lightning's right over there. Tripped over my tongue, and now he's going to TP away. Wow, the bash! Oh, the bashes. Oh my goodness. Get blown the fuck out. Oh man. That was 1,000 gold going the way of the Clockwork.
Taken.
But yeah, Roshan is going down to the Dire now.
Double damage, still not spotted out.
Yeah, that could be big. Vengeful might even want to take that. Razor's like, I don't need that shit. So much gold on the Razor now. What is he going to go? There is the Assault Cuirass on the Storm Spirit, so he doesn't need to get that. They don't have a Desolator on their team? It's almost like the Venge should go Desolator.
I think this Razor goes Butterfly after this Aegis dies out, and he's capped out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he maybe should go BKB.
That could be good, too. He's got 3,400 health, and I think if he just adds the armor and evasion from Butterfly, he's pretty much unkillable.
That's a good point. I like it. I like it. Yeah, he's been so tanky in these fights. Can't even take him down. Witch Doctor's got his Ags now, and he only showed it once, and it wasn't the best ult. So we'll see maybe if they get a better one. The clock needs to have that amazing initiation, and then the Radiant team can fight in it. But the Ravage, if it's there, it's going to cancel Witch Doctor's stuff. Maybe that's what the Tidehunter was worried about before. He's like, I need to Ravage. I need to cancel Witch Doctor. So it's going to be so hard to use this Ags. Now, the fight Ice Blast, on the other hand, it's going to be easier to hit. Oh, there's the hook shot. It came out. It was so close. He juked it. He wants to find that hook shot. There's a flare. Checking in the trees, pretty important. There's the Vengeful Spirit. Did get spotted out by someone. I think the Razor. No, yeah, it was spotted out by the Ward here. And now on the top lane, there's Nature's Prophet. There's Witch Doctor. They're looking. They're so close. They're split. The Dyer's team split. Another hook shot is missed. Now it's a complete clusterfuck. The Ravagers are there. It's splitting the team so hardcore. There's nothing the Radiant can do against this. This is so bad. Complete team wipe coming out from everyone except Ancient Apparitions there. Witch Doctor, he gets found out. And this is bad. Oh, GG is being called. That was the worst thing that could possibly happen because Tidehunter was right in the middle of that team that was split. And that's the perfect Ravage location. Any closing thoughts?
That was a pretty nice turnaround for the Dyer from the mid game.
Yeah, my big thing is earlier aggression from the Radiant. You could spot out the Midas. You could spot out that you didn't have Midas. You could do that. What do you think? Is some closing thoughts on this?
I think the Radiant, probably the Nature's Prophet, just needed to pick up that mech in place of the Maelstrom.
Yeah.
And they would have been able to take all the outer towers without any